Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? It's Nelly, and I'm back again. Back again. I think I've been saying I'm back again for a while now because I kind of go and then I come back and then I go and then I come back. But I must say, I think being a content creator is not an easy thing. So I hope you understand that and understand that sometimes you just need to be out and in sometimes and also keep up with everything that's happening. But we're here and I'm so happy to be back for now. So happy to be back. I have been doing videos and I hope that you guys actually enjoy watching my videos. Hey, I can see there's someone watching already. How are you doing? Can you give me a shout out? I know who's watching. Please, I would really appreciate if you can do that. Yes, I hope you guys have been enjoying my videos. By the way, I have a video that I posted um, this last week. So if you haven't watched it, please pass by and watch it and leave me a comment down there below. And I'll be so appreciative if you can do that for me. Hey, Life with Ruth Hoff, how are you? Oh, thank you so much, Gal. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And thank you for always being here all the time. I really appreciate your presence and your support and just everything. And definitely, we should have a hangout together. We definitely should have one. Yeah, so if you have not watched the video that I posted last time, please pass by and give it a watch and leave me a comment. But today, the reason why I'm actually here is because I think 2 weeks ago was in a live and I was like, did I hear very well? Like, did I hear the host very well? Hey Ruth, how are you doing? Um, it was like the host of the live said that single mothers are a burden and that men should avoid dating or marrying single mothers. And that it was just a lot of like shitty stuff said about single mother. And I was like, wait a minute, like I didn't want to confront there because I felt like, you know what, everyone has their own platform and everyone has their own opinion on things and stuff like that. But I wanted to definitely have this discussion, like because that was their own platform, their own opinion. But what they said, I felt like touched me a lot because this was a man who probably could be a deadbeat dad somewhere, or even if not a deadbeat dad, not don't quote me, even if not a deadbeat dad somewhere, will be a father one day and not marry maybe the woman they're dating. Hey Manuela. Aneno picha ni sani. Idinade. I hope you're doing fine. And today you can join even on audio. Today I really need company, like just dying for a company. But yeah, if you're not able to, it's very fine. Very interesting conversation. Proud single mother here. Very interesting conversation. Ruth says, thank you so very much. Because I'm like, why would someone say that marrying or dating a single mother is a burden? Because for me, I'm thinking if you cannot commit to dating a single mother, then why try? And it's not a cup of tea for everyone, that I definitely know. But I just wanted, like, why would someone, for example, become a single mother? I think that's the best place to start from. It has to be that there's a man who made pregnancy. Is it made pregnancy? Donated their sperm. Could be a man. Yeah, join to pick a story, Manuela. Could be a man donated their sperm, could be a man. Let me share the link first of all. Could be a man, someone died somewhere, God forbid, and was not able to raise their child. You know, there could be many reasons. Some people are also just deadbeats. Um, some people are also psychopaths. You get to learn that they're psychopaths when you have like had a baby already. Some people are narcissists. There are many reasons as to why women walk away from relationships sometimes. Sometimes maybe it was just a one night stand and it wasn't meant to be, and then there was a baby. And you cannot basically force a man to stay in your life when they're not meant to be there, or you cannot force a man to man up and like run to your pace if they are still being acting and behaving as if they don't have a responsibility. And that's why we have single mothers, you know very true. We are not forcing them to date us. It's either he wants to be in this relationship or not. We are not gonna beg anyone. Definitely. I love that. We are not begging anyone. Like, we are definitely not going to beg anyone. But like, for me, it has to be like there's a narcissist, there's a psychopath, there's a sperm donor, could be there was a deadbeat dad, there's an abusive partner. There are many reasons as to why women become single mothers. And I was like, how do you say that single mothers are a burden without considering that there was all these narcissist, sperm donor, deadbeat father, one night stand, um, and all this stuff. Why is it that at the end of the day society puts too much pressure on the women and not on the men? Do it make sense? Like, for a woman to be pregnant, there's definitely a man. So why is it that because the woman is the one who ends up carrying this baby, taking care of this child, caring for this child, nursing this child to growing up and everything like that, and providing for this baby? Why is it that at the end of the day, instead of someone saying men should actually man up and be responsible, people say that single mothers are not dating worthy or worthy to be in relationship with men who have not seen yet children? For me, one advice I would give to men is, if you cannot pace up to that level of assuming some kind of maturity or being like sort of mature enough to be with a woman like that, then you just walk away and another person will come who is really going to be in their life. Plus, these sons of pharaohs don't really understand that in every single man that was involved, shame on them. Listening to this topic alone makes me agitated down. I know, right? I know you're explaining this very nicely. For one to make such a statement, it's extremely ignorant. And for someone with such a mindset, I highly doubt his qualities as a partner. I don't know if and this is like a very famous Kenyan celebrity. I really don't know if they are a parent or not yet. In my opinion, in my thought of mind, in my line of thought, I think they could have bush babies somewhere, and they maybe one, because of how they are arrogant and stuff like that, they just never got to meet them, or they just told the woman, like, get an abortion or something like that. Like, I feel like without them knowing, they could be parents, and there could be a woman carrying their child out there. And for me, like, one, it's just like, why would someone make such a statement? Like, you carried the pregnancy, you carried all the shame. Like, the man walked away, or he wasn't able to man up, or he was too much in his awkward behaviors, maybe addictions, maybe irresponsibility and stuff like that. Like, let's have a talk. By the time you're carrying the pregnancy, let's say you work until 9 months. After 9 months, this man has basically ensured that you're not going to work for another, after delivery, maybe let's say 3 months. And then after that, you're going to have to meet an employer who also thinks that because you were out of work for maternity leave, you're not able to catch up with the work ethics or work standards. So you should be either demoted or not brought back to work. You'll be given many excuses as to why you should not be working, or why your position, or you should take more time. Like, I'm not talking about Europe standards, because I know this is like kind of a little different. Like where I live, there's a lot of this equality, so these could be problems that they don't really encounter. But where I come from, like if you leave work to go and give birth, people think that naturally every knowledge you had in your brain has been depleted and get gotten rid of, and your worth has reduced, and they know that you're always going to be asking for leaves to go take your baby for clinics and stuff like that. So they do not want to commit into those kind of relationships with their employers, no worries, girl. And so I'm thinking like, why are people like this? Like, why are people like this? Like, mothers, I know sometimes there's places where there's a one night stand and then there's a baby, and those are understandable. But I do pay high respect for men who would say, you know what, I gave you this pregnancy. And I love what Eric Omondi actually did. There's a post Eric Omondi, who's also a Kenyan celebrity, made today. And he said, we met and whatever happened, happened. And here we are. And there was a lady who was pregnant for him. And I'm like, that is claiming your responsibility. And I hope that you're able to carry this spirit forward and take care of your child, because it shouldn't be only a mother's responsibility to take care of the children. It should be both parties taking care of the child, but in most cases the woman always is left taking care of the children, and then the man is always left planting seeds all over the nation. My advice to men: for every single woman you see, ask yourself the following question: if this was my mom, would I want her to find love again? You have nailed it, girl. You have nailed it. I think that's the one thing that people fail to think about. Like, what if it's your mother? What if it's your sister? And just because you're a single mother, does that make you unworthy of love? Like, does it mean that just because you're a single mother, you should be by yourself? Like, come on, people like me, we are married and doing well in our marriages, and it's working. Like, does not mean that as a single mother, you don't have nothing to offer. Actually, single mothers fall in love. They are good lovers. They care. They take care of their men. They love truly. It's just that you have an added advantage of and a quicker way to starting a family, if that makes sense. Like, because I'll come in with my child and then you have a family. You don't have to try and try, you don't have to keep trying for another child. Yes, you might have children along the way, but at least you have a family already started for you as a man. So I think like that's a positive thing. Like, it's not a negative thing to have a child and start from there. Two, if I should die, do I want my children to have a father figure in their life? True. True that. Would you want your children to have a father figure in their life? And this is all because, like, people walk away for many reasons. Sometimes it could be because, and by the way, if you want to join the conversation, I have a link here. Come, let's have a chat. Like, if you want to come and have a chat, there's a link right here. You can feel free to come and have a chat with me. Yeah. Anyway, so for me, like, I feel like fathers need to understand. Okay, one, I have two things I need to say on this. A father is not the one who gets you pregnant. A father is that man who takes care of your child and is present and available and always there to make sure that the child's emotional needs, well-being, and support has been provided by them, be it financially, emotionally, anything the child needs. That is a father, not the person who gets you pregnant. So if you see a woman being single, just know there's no man to match that criteria of responsible, available, and present father figure in their life. And this actually brings me to, and before we go to that, I would say, like, men, if you cannot man up to be in a place where you can date a single mother, like assume responsibilities of Dating a single mother is different. One, it's not like you're just, we are going to be seeing each other and give ourselves many tries and then many fails, and I'm going to introduce you to my son's life or my daughter's life, and then you're going to meet my daughter, and then you're going to leave when you want. It's not like that. It's not like when you're dating a single person, because I feel like single people, women, much as they don't, okay, I won't say they don't have much to lose, because you still have wasted their time. But I would want to assume that before the relationship, you had made, why are we, talked about things like, why are we dating? Like, why are we seeing each other? Like, where is this relationship heading? You know, but I would say that, I would say that a single person has the capacity to, nurse their heartbreak and walk away and probably meet someone, other person, or choose to be single or meet another person and fall in love again. If you're dating a married, not a married, but a single mother, you are dating someone who has a child or a small human being in their life, and they're actually being molded and nurtured by things they see, and these things they see get to determine the kind of lives they live, um, the kind of lives they live after they grow up. For example, like, you do not want to be the woman who introduces your children to this uncle and this uncle and this uncle and then this uncle, and then there was Jeremy, and then there was Tom, and then there was Mark, and then there was Dick, and then there was who. Like, it should not be like that at all. Oh, let me try and share the link again, and you can try and, for example, um close your, what is it called, close and then join again. Try that and see. Yeah, so it's not like you're going to see all these men and then come and tell your child all the time, like, you're not, it's not like you're going to allow all these men into your life, that they're able to meet your child, be present in your child's life, and then leave when they want to, like, because I feel like children um are not toilets. You can't just walk in their lives and then walk out when you want. You can't just walk in and walk out the way you want, and you can't. So as a woman, you have to really choose what kind of father figure or what kind of men you're dating. If you're dating, is it time to bring a man into your child's life or not? And I think we had talked about this in here. Um, we have a guest. Hey,
Hey,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Mm.
Can you speak again?
Yeah, can you hear
Is that
me?
Manuela?
Audrey.
Aha, Audrey Mambo.
Poa.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm fine. You're far away from your speaker a little bit.
That is because I'm
Now
using my
that's better.
Bluetooth.
That's
And
very fine. Do
uh,
you have anything to first of all, nice to meet you.
it's a pleasure.
I can't
Nice.
see you though, but it's fine.
No, no, no. I don't want anyone to see me.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Do you have
Mhm.
anything to contribute to this topic?
Yeah, I really feel so angry when I hear men trying, not even trying, bluntly saying that they can't date single women, while for a woman to get pregnant, a man is involved. Okay,
Exactly.
so if they say things like this, it means like I don't know, I don't even know how to describe them. Maybe they say things like this, and they are part of the men that are making women pregnant, and then they say, "No, I didn't want a baby. Go and terminate that baby." Blah blah blah. What? Hmm?
For me, like, for example, this specific person, the live I was watching is the same person who, there's another fiasco that went around where a lady was, I think, sexually abused, and the what was said on the media came out really negatively, and some people were fired. And he was one of the very people who are defending this kind of, what is it? I would say, what is it called? People who something bad has happened, but then they
Mm.
try and make it look like the person actually said the right thing. The fault was on the person who was, this was actually a rape case. But then I'm thinking, for men especially, there's a lot of times when you get to meet a woman, and sometimes they get pregnant. Maybe you had promised you love them, I want to start a family with you, these false kind of hopes that women sometimes were given, right? And then
Yeah.
boom, a baby appears, and then the man says, like, you know what, actually, I changed my mind, abort it.
Mm.
And then you're the
We
same man
call
probably
them.
out here trying to
Mm.
say people should not date single women. Like,
No, do you know what we call them? We call those stupid, idiotic men gaslighters. That's what they
exactly,
are.
that's gaslighting.
Yeah.
And what
and
if
and
your
and they want
platform?
to make every bad thing that comes out of this pregnancy to be women's fault. Yet, before a woman gets pregnant, there must be sperms from a man that makes this baby. The baby doesn't come from Ugari or something.
Exactly. There's no one
Hmm?
who went and ate to Galians Kumawiki and then got pregnant. Neither did a woman went and drank like water from the tap and then became pregnant. I'm just like, why can't you consider the fact that we are actually raising a broken generation? And by broken, I mean like the many women who are single mothers, is it because they want? Not most of the
No,
time. Men are
no.
just not willing to be family people, and they're not just willing to take responsibilities of whatever creation they have made or whatever things they have done. We are technically telling men it's okay to get a woman pregnant and then walk away. you know
Mm. Yeah.
Rose,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Hi.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Today, I'm just like,
Sorry, I had to join without the camera because I'm just
no
chilling in
worries,
my bed taking my tea.
no
Don't
worries at all.
worry, you can join
Still have the
whenever.
So first of
conversation.
all, thank you for talking about such a topic.
Thank you so
As
much
you
for
know
being here.
me, I'm all about empowerment, and for me, I'm seeing this issue from all angles,
Mm.
especially coming from our African culture. We know the stigma that is there that keeps many women in very toxic relationships, that
Mhm,
makes women end up in marriages that shouldn't have even taken place because they want to prove a point, because the culture expects that. We see that on social media for all our couples, like our African friends, social media friends who are dating, for example, white boyfriends, the pressure that is there. When is the wedding? When are you getting married? And I
mhm,
always say, please don't listen to that nonsense and the noise. Do what is right for you. So for me, I'm
exactly.
starting from that angle. That kind of narrative coming from men is very narcissistic and misogynist. I mean, like you said, it takes two to make a child. All the
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
single mothers out there had men in
yeah.
their life that helped with the creation of these children. And the
Mm.
question
the
for
man
me
who
as a
walks out.
woman, as a single mother, and as a social worker, and someone that is very passionate about empowerment, I always tell people to ask themselves one question. Like you said, when did it start? Where does the law come from that when you divorce, it's women who carry the burden, I'll put it in quotation marks, of
Mm.
Mhm,
staying with the kids?
Yeah.
mhm,
Mm.
You
mhm.
understand? As a mother, of course, I know most of the time it's our choice, but to 90%, it's because no man will man up to stay with the kids. So the burden stays with the women.
The mother, exactly.
Exactly. And
And
that man, for example, who was saying don't marry women who have children, they are burden, he's probably sharing children left, right, and center, like you said. Or if
Yeah.
it does happen that he gets married, like I always tell people, there's no guarantee in a relationship or in a marriage. Like when we talk, yeah, when you meet someone after this and this time, get engaged, get married. I tell people, get married because you love someone and you're
mhm,
just trying to prove to them that I love you, it's like the icing on the cake, but it's
Mm.
not a guarantee.
It's not a
Yeah.
guarantee that every relationship should lead to a marriage, and neither
Exactly.
should a child's seed equate to a marriage. Like now we have to
Exactly.
be together.
Yes.
For me, you've hit
Okay,
a
Nelly.
on the very important point where, especially I would say African societies, and even I would say even here, women, we have been brought up to be so what dependent. Like, okay,
Yes.
I don't know if dependent is the right word to say, but like women generally,
No,
we are
can I interrupt? I
Mhm.
would say women have been brought up, especially in the African culture, to define their worth and their status by the people they date and their relationship.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their
Okay,
worth
Nelly.
equated to if they stayed in a relationship or if they walked away. If you walk
Yes.
away, for example, in my culture, we have this thing called Odi Oduogo. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And then I'm going to say it again in English, Odi Oduogo. And then they say, ka mokongo no tamo, ibro nyalo. You understand? So
Exactly.
I'm
That's
going
like
to,
Luo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I'm
Luo.
Luo. Yeah,
I'm a
I'm
Luo.
also
So
Luo.
this is what it means. She went and she came back. If the first
Wow.
man was not able to,
Mm.
will you be man enough to be a husband?
Yes.
Something like
Nelly, can you give me some time now? I would like to share about my own experience. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Please go ahead.
unfortunately, this is not. This does not. This does not involve African man. This is from a white man perspective.
Go ahead, please.
I had kids in Kenya, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to wherever I am right now, sometimes if I have a issue with this man, can you imagine? He even have the guts to tell me
Let
that
me get my
he,
headphones.
okay. Can you imagine? He even have the guts to tell me that he's not willing to take care of someone else's pleasure.
Sorry, come up again. You're too far away from the. Can you move closer a little bit, sweetheart?
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
I'm saying, can you imagine
Mm-hmm.
if at all maybe sometimes when you are in a marriage life, sometimes you fight or you exchange words, blah blah blah, you fight like it's normal.
Yeah, it's
So
very.
so when he gets pissed, he always say like, you will not make me. No, in fact, he is not even saying you will not make me. He says it like, I will not take care of someone else's pleasure. In short, he's referring my kids as a result of someone else's pleasure.
No. Wait a
Yes,
minute. Have you put
yes,
him in his right place?
yeah. I tried. He's narcissist. He cannot. I cannot do anything more. I've tried.
Do you have children together with him?
Yes, two.
You have also your children as well.
Yeah.
I think you need to remind him. I think some men are really lucky.
Yeah. Can you imagine? He goes to an extent of even calling my other son in Kenya and telling him that, I'm not your father, so you should not be telling me to send you any money. If you want money, you can tell your mother to send you money, which is okay. Okay. If my son contacts him, at least the normal thing he can do is come to talk to me and tell me that this is what has happened. Your son was calling blah blah blah, and he needs this and this. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But for him, no, he doesn't do it like that. He attack the boy only for the boy to send me the screenshots, like the way he whatever he's telling him.
I'll let Rose weigh on this one before I say what I wanted to say. Rose, please.
What?
Can you hear me, Rose? For me, I'm thinking
Mhm.
if he does not want to speak, if he does not want to help a child out,
Nelly, I was trying to pick.
for me, I'm thinking
Yeah.
if he does not want to speak, if he does not want to have the there's a vibration, there's a echo.
I'm thinking, yeah, if he does not. Hello?
Now I can hear you. Okay, the echo is gone. Can you
Yeah.
weigh on this one? Did you hear what
Sorry.
our host?
I missed a long bit of the story because I'd rushed to the washrooms. Can you maybe
No
summarize for me
worries.
very briefly? I listened to the last part.
Would you go again, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no problem. So I'll start from the beginning.
Okay,
I,
better.
Yes, I'm sorry.
it's okay. I was referring to because I had this guest by the name Life Without Ruth Hoff. You say that basically it is African men. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
she was
we can hear.
referring that it is basically African men that have this psychological thing, like talking bad about other kids or whatever. But I was saying, no, it's not, because I am a victim of the same. I'm married to a white man, wherever I am, and this man, when we argue, because when you're married, sometimes people fight, right? So sometimes he even goes to an extent of telling me that he's not ready to take care of someone else's pleasure. Okay?
So pleasure being the baby daddy you
Yeah.
had before.
Yeah. And this pleasure, it means that the other kids that he found me with, so those kids are someone else's pleasure.
Okay. I
Okay.
think from there I can respond to you. For
Okay.
me to answer, I'm going to answer you as a mother, but
Mm.
also as a professional. My first
Mm.
question, like I said, we were talking basically of the African men. Of course, it didn't mean only African men or all
Mm.
African men, but it's widespread in the African culture.
Yeah.
Bad apples, like we always call it, bad apples means bad people can be in any culture, of any color, of any race. As
Mm.
a single mother, when I'm
Mm.
going to date someone, for example, it's very important for me to know that this
Mm.
person takes me as a package. So when
Mhm.
I'm out there dating and mingling and meeting people, I make
Mm.
sure that the person who gets in touch with me, even by the
Mm.
first conversation, he knows
Mm.
I'm a mother and that is not negotiable.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he knows that if he's going to get into a relationship with me, then he's
Okay.
taking a package. And then I turn the tables around and I say it's always the responsibility of a woman, of a mother, to make
Mm.
sure you go through all the steps to proof check. Like I said, unfortunately, there are no guarantees. But for you
Mhm.
as a mother, it's your duty to proof check that the person you're dating is actually good for your children. If you take time to date this person, I always advise my clients, don't make your kids meet the person you're dating earlier than 6 months, because in
Mm.
at least 6 months you need ample time to get to know this person. Even if
Mm.
they are pretending, 6 months are good time enough to know, to see some red flags, to understand what the thoughts are really about. But don't rush to make your children meet the men that you date, or maybe the people you think could be your future husbands. But should
Mm.
it happen and this person pretends good enough to an extent that you get to marry them and they turn out to be the kind of people like this person is saying, my
Mm.
advice to you, if you're here in Europe, I would advise you to take that seriously,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a very common character among white men. And
Mhm.
for white men who behave like that, I'm generalizing, of course, white is very diverse. We're not going
Yeah.
to go into nationalities, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a sign of, not because he's a white man or because he doesn't believe in people who already have children, but he's just
Mm.
not a good person. He has a
Yeah.
bad personality. He has
Yeah.
an abusive character. Someone
Yeah.
who goes to that extent of telling you such things is most likely at some point to become abusive with you too, because that is a form of abuse already.
Yeah.
Anyone who dates a mother, someone who has children, knows that is something that you don't mess with.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
what you're saying is very true. Uh, because when I met him, we dated like 2 years,
Yes.
and I didn't get pregnant whatsoever. So he
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to come to Europe. We tried to apply for visa almost 4 times, but it was denied.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with this idea that we should get married so that I can get the visa to come.
Yes. Yes.
So I accepted. When I accepted, I had to wait for this family reunification for almost 2 years in Kenya.
Yeah.
And in this process is whereby this son of his I got. And
Uh-huh.
before, he was very good. He used to take care of my kids. He used to pay for school fees. He used to buy everything. I didn't see anything until I moved here. That's when I realized that I married the wrong person.
Yes. And
And
can I
and
tell you
and,
why?
and
Can I
yes,
tell you why
yes,
that didn't happen while you're still in Kenya?
no.
Because he knew what options he had. I always
Ah,
tell people who DM me, for example, on my Instagram, because
mm,
unfortunately I get to see this a lot. I think you can feel even my voice is going high because it really, really stresses me out.
yeah.
For any girl who marries a white man, and I'm not
Mm,
generalizing, but
mm,
whether you like it or not, for most white men who go to Africa to pick girlfriends, to marry them or whatever,
mm,
50% of them have character
Probably
discrepancies.
issues.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
mm,
50% of them are going for African girls because they believe we are desperate, because they believe you'll be very thankful of what he has done for you, that you
They see it as
tolerate
a
every
favor.
nonsense.
let
You
me tell
understand, my
you,
dear?
yes, but let me tell you, when I met this man, I was not desperate at all.
No, I'm
He
not
made
saying, darling, that
sure
you were
he
desperate, but
put,
like I
yeah,
said,
understand what I'm trying to
50%
explain
of
to
them
you.
who go out there looking for an African woman, they are
Yeah.
looking for a subordinate, not an equal
Mm-hmm,
partner.
mm-hmm,
50%, unfortunately.
yeah. Can
You
you
understand?
imagine?
So he
Yes.
got you with the hope that, okay, I'll chill, I'll relax until I get her here. And I always tell
Yeah.
people, always think twice before you come here. I'm not saying you shouldn't come, you have the opportunity. I
Mm,
mean, you could divorce when it doesn't work out. But I
yeah.
always tell people, if you have a chance to talk to someone who can tell you what to consider before you get here, how do you go
Mm,
about such a situation? Always keep that in mind. And now that you're talking to us, I think that's a very good thing. I'll go on to listen to your story. But my
mm,
advice, for example, is for you, the next time that happens, you
mm.
must put your foot down and say, darling, that's a no go. You
For
married
me,
me
No,
knowing
I try.
ABC,
I
and
tried
I
to
definitely
stop
never want
him.
to hear say that again, or we really have to think of just finding other ways. But my child, if you're in German, a child's Würde is unantastbar. I don't know how they say that in English because my head thinks in German now after a long time. But that is a no-go zone, and it's your duty as a mother to show from the beginning, even if he's just testing the waters, that he knows that is a no-go, period.
Let
and
me
I
tell you,
think,
my dear.
mhm.
This man, he's as the guest said, he's abusive.
Yeah.
He abuses me psychologically,
Wow.
spiritually, physically, and he calls me all the names on this world. All.
Yes.
And this happened because when I was moving here, he wanted me to come with his son only, okay, to Europe. But then I told him,
Wow.
yes, that's what he
That's the
wanted then.
first red flag, right?
Yeah,
Well,
but now you see he comes up with this idea while already we have already submitted these things at the immigration. So I
Yes.
told him it is not possible right now. I have a 3-year-old son and he doesn't have a father. I don't have parents. It's
you
either you
cannot leave
take
your
me
son
with that my
behind.
son. Sorry,
You couldn't have left your son behind by
I
herself.
No
couldn't.
way.
Yeah, I told him it's either we come as a package or we stay in Kenya. I'm very fine here. But then
Yeah.
when I insisted that I will not go to Europe and leave my son behind, then he said, okay, you people, you can just come. When I got
Wow.
here, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and I got here when it was winter, and then there was this darkness that I've never experienced in my life at all.
Hmm.
So
I know
I
the
was
job.
like, what the hell is this? I'm here, I'm new, I don't talk the language. He's frustrating me. He calls me names. I told him, fine, let's because when I got here, the first time after within that week that we were fighting because he wants me to get pregnant. And at the same time, I have a small child from him, another 3 years old. So I was asking him, what is the rush? Why do you want me to have another baby while I still have another young one here? And also he doesn't have time to stay with the kids. Okay, so which means everything is up to me to take care of them. Hmm? And he doesn't want you to talk. when you say, when let's say, if I stand up and say, this is not okay, you should not be doing this to me, because even if you had married somebody from your culture, this you would have not done. You doing this, why? But
Wow.
then he
Was
changed
there
it.
any red flags when you started knowing each other? Like,
No,
were there things?
no, he was good. He was good. He was paying for my kids in Kenya school fees. They were
And he
both in
knew.
secondary school. Yeah, he knew. Me, I never hide my kids from a man. Never ever. If you want me, you take me all together. If you don't want
May I
me,
ask
fine.
something? How old is your child now? The one that is not biologically his?
I have three.
Mm-hmm.
No,
The
you have
first
three
one,
kids that are not from him biologically, right?
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So I have
How old are
one.
they,
I have one
roughly?
who is 22, and that
Mm-hmm.
one is the one that used to send very bad texts instead of approaching me.
Wow.
And then I have another one who is 18. She's now in Form 4 in Nairobi. And then here now I have this one that I'm talking about, the one that he always tell me that he doesn't want to take care of someone else's pleasure. So I have four kids in total.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
for
So I
me,
have
what
a
I would say,
question. I know this is going a bit out of hand, but I think when someone mentions the thing you've mentioned, my social worker heart can't see it. I'm sorry. If I ask anything that you
Mm,
okay.
don't want to talk about, just don't talk. Yeah. You said
okay.
he's also very abusive to you physically, psychologically, mentally. You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talked about the ages of the children. Apart from the 22-year-old, I don't know when he started writing him bad messages, but that is
Mm-hmm.
also a very dangerous and vulnerable age. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking
Mm,
about an age where kids are trying to find themselves. We're
mm,
talking about an age where children get to carry all this emotional baggage with them, and it
Yeah.
could
mm,
lead them into a very wrong direction, especially here in Europe.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm,
even
So
if
I would advise that's something you should think about how that affects your kids. Of course, I can't start giving out advice here. If you want, you can DM me or on my Instagram. That is something I'm passionate about. I'll find the time. But listening to your story, I don't know what options you have, but I don't know what you think, Nelly. But I think that's something that really needs to be deeply
I think,
addressed.
I think for me, I would say it needs to come. I don't know what you think you, because at the end of the day, we can only say what we can say, and
Yes.
the action is meant to be on your side. But if I look into it very deeply, I feel like at some point, this person is going to make you, this is someone toying with your mind. They're reducing
he's
your
affecting
worth
me
from here.
mentally.
They're reducing your mind, your worth straight from here, from your
Yeah.
mind. And
Straining.
I feel like it's high time you, as a mother, as a woman, put your foot down and say,
Yeah.
not in my watch.
Yeah.
Because for me, I know there's this thing which comes with, especially I would let me allow me to speak on it this way. When you have had one more than one child, or even just one child, let's start from one child to two to three. The more children you have, the worse the society think um your value as a woman, the more the society think your value as a woman has been
Mm,
reduced, quote unquote,
mm,
because I don't believe so. And
mm.
I feel like as a woman, you have a lot to offer, a lot
Yeah.
to offer. Even if you have 10 children, your worth has not yet been reduced. You are just a mother. Your management skills has even been
Have 10
increased because
children.
you're
You
able to take care of your children, you know? And I feel like you need to start as a mom, if it were me, like where I am right now, in my mind, in any relationship I get to, I always think of how does it affect my child. It's not about, as much as I also want to be happy, but I have this vulnerable life aside from me that does not have to be part of the pain
Yeah.
I've gone through, just because I need to feel accepted and wanted and taken care of and loved, and in a home where people have mentioned to be a home, because a home can be a home even without a father, you know? And
Nelly,
Yeah.
mhm,
Nelly,
yeah.
this son of Pharaoh, I'm sorry to call him that, but this son of Pharaoh, I already made up my mind and I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna divorce. I don't
And then
Yeah.
need this
that place to
bullshit.
start from.
I've stood by him for a very long time. I've taken his shit, and it's high time I get my peace. Since I came
Yeah.
to Europe,
You deserve
I've
it.
never, yeah, since I came to Europe, I've never had any peace. Hmm?
Wow.
What kind of a man can hit a mother while they're carrying their own baby
Oh
Oh
no.
sitting on the
no.
sofa? And
Oh
then,
no, don't drive me
yes,
crazy.
yes, and then
Oh,
when I call police, he pretends and tell the police that I was being hysterical and I deserve to be slapped to calm down.
oh,
And the
can
reason,
you stop there?
yeah,
Um, I don't know which country you're living. Would it be okay for you to disclose? Oh,
yeah, I'm in Sweden.
bitte?
Sweden.
Okay, I don't know
You
about the
know,
Sweden law, but Sweden has also one of the best child systems, the
mhm.
best child service systems. So if the police is bullshitting around, you have to look for the child systems,
Even
okay?
the social
Because
worker.
if a man beats you carrying your child, whether you're being
Yeah.
hysterical or not, according to our child service law, and I work in the
That's
child service
abuse.
system, he is in the wrong, period.
And the reason why he's hitting me is because I woke him up because that day this son of his was sick like 2 weeks and he couldn't eat anything. So for us in Kenya, when a
Wow.
baby is sick, you buy maybe paracetamol or amoxil or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I was coming here, I had amoxil with me, and because he refused to call the doctor for us to take the baby to the hospital, he told me that here in Sweden we don't take kids to the hospital. The immune
That's
system, I don't know,
bullshit.
will solve this nonsense. Blah blah blah.
Wow.
So the reason why he slapped me is because I told him so because
Oh
this
God, I
child
want to
is
die. I
from
can't stand
Africa.
that.
You
Oh,
slap me, but if this child would be from your ex who are Swedes, you would have reacted. And then that's when he came and slapped me and told me, "Don't ever mention my kids again," like that.
Baby girl, you have put up with a lot. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say I wish you did not have to get to here, but I'm glad you got here because it made you make your mind. Because I feel
Yes.
like sometimes women will just say, "Oh, you know, it was just this," and I'm really happy you're not making any excuses on his behalf.
Yes.
You
No,
understand?
no.
I'm so happy about that. But I
Mm.
wish you read the first signal and just say, "You know what? I'm out."
Yeah, but Nelly, whenever I say that I'm leaving, he tells me, if you're not happy here, go back to Kenya. Then I say,
He
fine.
doesn't
I
get to
will.
decide that.
No. Just
And
listen what he
even
says.
if
He
you
says,
can go back,
no, listen. He says, no, just listen. I tell him, okay, fine. You want me to go back? No problem. You found me living so well. I was good. In fact, here I'm living like a street child. Okay, compared to how I used to live in Kenya, I was good.
and that is
I
what many
used,
people don't
yeah,
understand. Like life in
yeah.
Africa
I
is
used
actually
I used
much
to
more
live in
better.
Lavington. Okay, and Lavington it's not cheap there. Huh?
Yeah.
And when I tell him, okay, fine, let me go back to Kenya, then again he comes and gaslight me and says, oh, if you're going to Kenya, you're not living with my son. So that is the reason I'm still here because I told him it's either I go with my kids as I came or we're going to stay here, whether we are married or separated or
Can
divorced.
I cut you short, please?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
About the issue of going back to Kenya, I hear that a lot with all the men that bring our African girls here and emotionally blackmail them. If you ever
Yeah.
decide to go back to Kenya, or anyone else listening right now that is married to someone in the diaspora, I want you
Mm,
women to always know and pick up the right to know it is your right. You're an adult. He didn't pick a toddler from Kenya who he brings here and decides to
mm,
put back
And
on the
decides to
next
bring
bus
back.
to wherever he
Mhm.
got you from. It should be
yeah.
your conscious decision. You have a Swedish child. You're thinking
Mm,
about the future of your child. Your child
yes.
has a rights. Okay?
Mm,
Mhm.
So whatever
yeah.
Mhm.
decision you make, it shouldn't be his to make. That should be the first step. It shouldn't be his to
Mm,
make. So the next answer actually to him should be wherever I stay, if I stay here or I move to Kenya, that is entirely my
up
decision
to
and in
me.
the best interest of myself and my child.
Mm,
Very well
That is
said,
something that you have
Ruth.
to first set very clear.
That
Yeah.
very well said. And I think also like I would say at the same time, whether going back to Kenya or not, just because the relationship between the two of you does not work, or you and your children with him does not work, does not mean the relationship between you and no, between him and his child will not work. So you
Yes.
would not deny his son a chance to have a father figure, even if
Mm,
it's like, being go like, you today's daddy time, go see your father. Like,
mm,
and you're a grown up, like he took you from that place. He maybe could have paid your passport, your visa to come here, but does
mm,
not mean that the child you have does not guarantee you a place to stay in the country where you live.
Yes.
yeah.
It
So you
shouldn't.
have a right to stay in Sweden. That's the first thing. Second thing, what Nelly is trying to say is you have to consider co-parenting. That is something I also preach a lot. I'm a happily divorced single mother who has an amazing cooperating relationship with my husband, ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm,
I always tell the parents, never undermine the impact of a child not having the other part of the parent in their life. My children, we
mm,
are living in a divorced relationship, but they're extremely happy. They're extremely emotionally stable because we both had to work hard on accepting that despite the divorce, we'll always be parents forever. Our children didn't choose us. Our children
Mm-hmm.
didn't choose to be here, and they didn't choose to be in our situation. So our responsibility as parents is making sure we safeguard our children's childhood and safe space and mentality. And the same thing that you have to offer for your children that you came with also from Kenya. I don't know how long you've been with him. Like you've said, you're working on leaving him. Everything that I'm hearing is very typical of abusive relationships, and all that is nonsense. I can assure you, like I said, feel free to contact me, I'll give you the advice. But my advice would be, don't tolerate that for long. And I'm so angry at the moment because someone that has been through such a situation, she came here, got married, got 3 kids, then divorced her husband and met someone else. And this person was so abusive that her children ended up, becoming crazy. The young boy started taking drugs. Then she
Oh
got problems with
no.
the child service systems because, of course, when the kids are out of hand or they're in bad situations, that's our duty to make sure that we safeguard their well-being. So the children were taken away from her. And as someone who came from Africa and struggled, she couldn't accept that she had failed. That's how she looked at it. She
Yeah.
started drinking, she lost her mind, and committed suicide 3 years ago. I could go crazy listening to
Oh
such
no.
stories,
yeah,
you know?
and
And this is someone who
because
stayed in such a situation for close to 10 years. Now she has committed suicide. These kids have already lost their future because if you're already a drug addict, your mom dies, they don't have a father here in Europe, their life is done.
yeah, and
I'm not
you
trying to put the pressure on you, but I want you
no,
to
no, no,
understand that for as long
no.
as
Yeah.
you're in a wrong relationship and your children
Mm.
are experiencing that, they might end up going on the wrong road. And for as long as your children are not happy, unfortunately, it's like that for mothers. You'll never be happy.
And even you people were talking about if there is violence involved, I can go and contact, I don't know, social or whatever. I
Yes.
have done all those things. Nothing is working. Nothing.
I think it could be, I don't know if there's corruption where you are, because I don't see how people can be so blinded on these kind of issues, especially social workers. And I'm
I
saying so
don't see that
because he's
happening
right
also.
here.
You know,
Because he's also a social worker. But I'm also thinking it could be he gets his way because he pays. Maybe he could, if there's corruption, he
No,
pays.
Nelly, let me explain
no,
something. He
I don't
doesn't
think he
pay.
pay. I
Another
don't
thing I
think
have to
he
tell you,
pays.
my sisters and brothers, when you
Mm.
move to a new country, I think I'll have to do an entire video about that because I'm so angry.
You should.
Mm.
Yes, when you move to a new country, my loves, I know it's difficult. I know we have different backgrounds. I know some of us didn't go to school. My dears, try and learn the language.
Mm.
Exactly.
For as long
The
as you don't
beginning
understand
of
the
your
language, you'll go to
foundation.
an office and this person will sweet talk the people. Someone who is
Yes,
abusive is very good at communicating.
that is how this man is exactly. When you see him,
Yeah.
you can even say, I am lying. He's saying the truth.
Yes,
And
because he comes over as
Because
trustworthy. He speaks things they understand. You cannot express yourself. He says things
Mhm.
that you don't understand, so you cannot counteract. So that's very, very detrimental. So next time you
And
go
this,
to a social services system,
mm,
and maybe you're with him, you also have a right. I know this law is
To ask for a translator.
yes, all over Europe, because the office that I work for is interconnected. You demand for a translator.
mm,
Secondly, you demand for feedback. If you tell them ABC happened, and especially if a child is involved, always keep your evidence, voice messages, take photos if you have to. When he's fighting with you, shouting with you, record him. If he sends your children stupid messages, take all of them to the offices and say, I need help. Demand it, because it's your right.
yeah.
And
Do you
Ruth,
know
also
how we ended up to at this social? Now you'll get
Yes.
even more angrier.
No, I'm not angry at you, but it hurts me so much because I see a lot of that, and I wish I could help all of them at once, but I
I know
can't.
Do
how
you
it
know why?
feels.
Do you know why now we ended up at the social? Because as
Mhm.
I said earlier, he wanted another baby, right? And
Yeah.
when I was coming to Europe, I came unexpected because I didn't know that these people are gonna approve my visa like this, like this. And you know,
Yes.
these white people, when they say you come tomorrow, it's tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they have already booked the ticket, so I came. And when I got here, I told him, me, I don't have any family planning on me. So please take me to the hospital so that I can get
Oh.
what is it called?
The
Family
family
planning.
planning.
Yeah. But then he said he cannot take me there because those are chemicals and they are destroying people's body.
So
So
he
I
also
told
has
him
to make choices of your own uterus and your
You can
exactly.
imagine, he's very abusive, by the way.
Listen, and then I told him, okay, fine. Then I think then when I'm having sex with you because I don't have any protection, you need to wear a condom. He
yeah.
refused.
Because he knows when you have children, you have no bargaining power. You're in a foreign country. When you get children after children like a rabbit, I'm sorry to say, he knows you'll never be able to go to school and learn the language. He knows you'll never
Exactly, because
demand to
there's
go
a
to
baby
work. He
waiting for
knows you'll
you.
never leave him because you're entirely dependent.
Yeah.
That is a very
So
abusive trait.
yeah.
That is
So
someone who basically cuts the tree from the root because he
Yes.
knows very well it cannot grow.
so
Yes.
so in this process, I ended up getting pregnant, and I was really
Wow.
pissed. I almost committed suicide because of this, because I'm trying to tell him I don't want babies, and he's still trying to drag me down. At the same time, he's being abusive to me. And even when I'm pregnant with this baby, when I sleep,
Oh,
when you have a morning sickness, when you're pregnant and the pregnancy is small, some people get sick. Like me, I really get sick that I can't
of
even get up.
course.
Of
So
course.
he comes and tells me, "Can you get up? You're just lazy. You're pretending. Get up and help me pick these kids."
Seriously?
Oh
Yes,
my
Even when
God,
you're
can I come
carrying
and
one
yes.
pinch you?
pregnancy?
So I really I tried to be patient with him for at least 2 weeks. Then I thought, no, this is not me. I'm not going to have another baby. I've never aborted a baby. I'm sorry to say, but this time I had to do something about myself. So
Oh,
he
And we
dilly
don't
dallied.
blame you for that. We accept you for that. It's your
Yeah.
choice.
So he
You
dilly
choose how
he
many
dilly
children you
dallied.
want.
He dilly dallied contacting the hospital because here where we are, you have to call and make an appointment. And I
Mhm.
ended up going to this appointment when I'm 7 weeks pregnant. So when I went to the hospital, the doctor or midwife could see that I'm really stressed or I'm disturbed. So she kept on insisting, "What's wrong with you? Tell us what has happened. Why do you want to terminate this pregnancy?" I just cried
oh,
uncontrollable. Then I told her, "Please, just help me. I need to terminate this. I've never done it, but this time, if I die, I die. If I survive, I survive."
oh.
Yeah.
I'm
My
sorry
heart
So,
about
breaks for
that.
you.
yeah. So, sorry.
So you now I even don't know what term to use because it breaks my heart for you. So you don't have the pregnancy anymore.
No, I don't.
So Nelly,
And
if I
then
talk too much, you can cut me
this
off. You tell me
doctor.
to shut up. But I
No,
have a
it's
question
Let,
okay.
because
let,
I have
let
many
me finish,
scenarios in
please,
my head,
first.
unfortunately,
Let
because
me
of
finish
my
first,
work
please, guys.
experience. So you
Bruce,
Let
told
me
wait
me
a
you're
finish.
minute.
thinking
Let me finish
of
first, please.
leaving him, right?
Yeah,
And
let
Bruce,
me
wait a
finish
considering
first.
that you
minute.
took a drastic step of even aborting the next step, my
Bruce, can you
advice
wait
to
a
you,
minute?
yes, Nelly,
Can you wait a minute? She's saying she's
yes, of
finishing.
course.
Okay. Can you go on, Audrey?
Okay, now the doctor, after I explained the situation in how this man is treating me, whatever, it was the doctor that contacted the social for me on my
Yes.
behalf. So after I came back, he asked me, "Did you contact the social? Because I think this social called him." And I said no. And then he said, "But then the social want to see me. What did you say?" And then I told him, "I only said the truth, nothing but the truth. I'm sorry I had to say it
Yes.
because it's me that these things are affecting. For you, you eating, you sleep, you drink beer, you do everything. You're fine. But me, you're destroying me slowly by slowly.
Yeah.
And that I cannot take anymore. Enough of this." And then when the social when the social called us to this place, he went to school where my kids are at the kindergarten and reported me that I'm beating kids with the belt. Okay, so the school
Come
contacted.
closer to the microphone a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
No,
You can't hear me.
It's coming back
you
better.
sound like you're very far.
Far away.
No, it is this Bluetooth that I don't know how to do it.
Oh no,
Sorry.
Now,
now
no.
okay, now I can hear you. Stay where you are now.
Okay. He ended up going to the school without my knowledge, contacted the school and told them that I beat my kids here. And as it is here, you can't beat a child, okay? So the school contacted the social again for me.
Wow.
And the social went ahead and reported me to the police without even me knowing anything. Only for me to go to this meeting that I had already spoken at the hospital to be told that Ruth, today we will have to, we are going to tell you everything that has been happening. Your husband contacted the school and they said that you beat the kids. And now we had already reported you to the police. The police investigated your case and they found that it was nothing but jealous or whatever it is, because this man was trying to protect his image from me. So he's counterattacking me because I've already reported him. Now he's also going to report me. So in short, he wanted the
Audrey,
social to take kids from away from me.
Audrey, wait a minute. I'm sorry to cut you short, sweetheart. Are you using headphones?
Yes.
Can you remove headphones?
Okay. But not, no, wait. Let me look for the earphone themselves because the kids will wake up if we talk.
Aha. Okay. Can you try and have like the mouthpiece next to you?
Mouthpiece.
Yeah, because before I could hear you very well, but now it's kind of like fading away.
Okay. Give me 1 minute, please. Let's see if I can find.
Rose, can you hear her very well, or it's my side?
I don't know. Is this thing?
Try talking now.
You know?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Let me connect the normal earphones. You hear me better. And
Okay.
this is causing a problem. Now you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Rose, are you
Yeah.
there?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. What part do you want me to repeat that we
From the
didn't
part
hear?
where he went,
So, Audrey, is it okay if I talk now?
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, so your situation is already taking the direction that I was fearing. It's getting
Yeah.
very tricky. So I'll actually just go direct to tips I can give you to make your life the next few months, few years, whatever your plan is easier. Because it
Mm.
can turn very shitty very easily because
Mm-hmm.
of the issues that I've had. Like I said, you
Mm.
said of social, one of the avenues, how we in the social care system we get that information, like you said, if your
Mm.
children, for example, for anyone listening, if your children are going to school or nursery and the
Mm-hmm.
teachers notice anything crazy, anything weird, or maybe when they ask kids questions and maybe the child says, oh, my mom and dad fought last night or whatever,
Mm.
that schools always report those issues to the social service systems, the child service systems. And
Mm.
those are things we must follow up, whether you're innocent or not. And the unfortunate bit is when we follow up such a thing, you have a file for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
meaning this file for the next 10 years, whatever small thing happens,
Mm.
you'll not be looked at as someone who doesn't have a file there. If your husband says, oh,
Mm.
she's crazy, she beat me up, she beats the kids, we'll go
Mm.
back to the file and say, oh, there was one time an issue. So it
Mm.
will take time for us to believe you. Of course, it's our duty to make sure we research, investigate, and see if it's not true. But you
Mm.
have a disadvantage. Just
Mm.
like I always tell teenagers and youth, we also have an act like that. If they are caught stealing, for example, in the supermarket, pickpocketing, playing, and we have the file for the next 10 years, and maybe one time someone says, oh, he beat me up, the police will not believe this teenager, because the moment they put the name in the system, they'll say, oh, there's a child service act for the last 2 years, he one time
Mm.
pickpocketed. So everyone will believe the others even if it's not
Mm-hmm.
true. So for
Mm-hmm.
you, I see they're already pushing you in that position, and he knows it because he knows the system. He went to say you beat the kids because that's the only weapon he can use against you to take away your children. So my advice is this: number one,
Mm. Mm.
when they call it such an office to social, I
Mhm.
know it is difficult. Never lose your calm.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we as Black people, on many other nationalities or foreign, countries, there will always be that perception. Unless you're lucky and you come to my office, me as a Black person, I'll understand you. But if you go to an office to a white woman and you
Mm.
come with our African temper, there's
Mm.
always that what do they
The
call it?
ground is
Like there's
never
always that
level.
belief the Africans beat their kids, blah blah blah. So I beg you, whenever you call to that office, if it means first taking a sip of wine, stay calm,
No,
because
let me
there's that
finish
prejudice.
because
If
I
you
didn't
come and
even
you hit it,
finish.
they will note it down. They don't tell you, but for every conversation, even if it's just a phone call, we write it down. We even write your mood. We write, okay, she seemed this, she seemed that. So always consider that. Don't let him push you. If they call you
Ruth,
to a conversation and they are speaking and you don't understand, you'll say, I'm really sorry. I would like someone who speaks English because I don't follow the conversation. So you don't accept something you don't know. If you receive a letter and you don't really understand it, never sign it, because
Ruth,
there are
I
also
think
possibilities of for example, families like yours, from your story, there's a possibility that the social care services, the child services, will contact you and say, oh, maybe you need psychological help. Don't take it.
Yeah,
He might use
can
that.
I now continue, please?
Yes.
yeah. And
Okay, all
before Audrey, just a minute before you continue, Ruth, I think her story has really escalated. Like that is just, I think she has not finished like to where they are right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's hear
So
more
go
to
on.
this first of all. I think it
Wow,
really
Nelly, thank you
also,
for hosting this live.
thank you so much for also being here. And thank you as well for your story. This is courage to me. And
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you for even being out here to talk about it, because I know in one way or another, I usually say in every 10 claps you make, there's a woman being abused.
I
Mhm.
know.
There's a woman facing abuse. So we should not just keep quiet about it and say, oh, it happened to our mothers or it happened to us, it won't happen again. There's a
Yes.
generation coming. You're saving either a woman right now or a woman to be. And these stories, I usually say, we people, we are living libraries. We get to learn from one another. And thank you for offering your story as a learning point for many women in here, including me, even if I cannot relate to your story.
So can I continue?
Please.
Please do.
Okay, when he contacted this social, the police investigated me, and it came out that the police thought that he was just trying to cover for his bad manners or whatever it is, his character. So the case was terminated. So I don't have any issue with the police or anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the school, because when the social are doing investigation, they have to call you there several times. They call
Yeah.
the kids separate and you separate. All this was done more than 15 times, but
Yeah,
the
I know.
kids would always say that the father is the bad one. So on the report, because the social contacted the school and they wanted to know what exactly is this man talking about, and apparently the school told the social that we are more concerned about this man's character more than this girl. I think the girl has a problem with the
Yeah.
language only. But
Yeah.
when we check, when we look at this man, I think they wrote it in the final decision that the man
Mm-hmm.
has got mental issues. Okay. So the hospital
That's good
also,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah, for the hospital also where I was, because I told you I was pregnant, remember?
Yeah.
So I went to terminate this baby. The, it refused to come because he lied to me. You see, he told me to take 7 tablets, and I was
Oh my
supposed to
God.
take. Yeah, in fact, I think he wanted me dead or something. I don't know what was
Oh
his
my
motive.
God.
He told me to take 7 tablets, and then I can take 2 in the morning, and that is not what the doctor said. The doctor told me specifically,
Wow.
take 4, and then tomorrow morning you take 2. You put down there in my
Oh,
cart. So
in your vagina.
yes.
It's very okay to say
The
that.
oxytocin. I think I've gone through a miscarriage before. I know. Uh,
Yeah. So I went, when I came back, I bled like nobody's business. And because I've
Oh,
never had abortion before, I thought it was done. Okay. Only to wake up in the middle of the night. Now I can't breathe. I am sick. I am bleeding like
oh
nobody's
my God.
business. And when I tell him, call the doctor, he says to me, no, now it's late. We cannot go there. Yet he has a car.
Oh my God.
So again,
it's
yeah,
But
emergency.
my love, let me
yeah.
also cut you short.
So
I'm sorry. I
also
know I'm not supposed to do this. You've been living in Europe for how long? Just get your phone
one
and call
year.
an ambulance number. My darlings, please try to
Yeah,
be a little
yeah.
more independent when you come to these countries. Please.
No, you see, I didn't know these things because
I
even
think.
buying, Nelly, let me finish. I'm almost finishing.
Uh-huh.
So I called police, and police, when they came, because I told them the situation, they came with an ambulance, and I was taken to the hospital, and he was asked why he refused to call the ambulance. He said that I'm always pretending that
Oh,
I am drama queen or whatever it
drama
is.
queen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I went to the hospital. Reaching the hospital, they said this girl must go to a theater right now,
Oh
otherwise
no.
she's gonna die. So they took me there, and the next thing I know, I woke up in the morning, only for the doctor to tell me, you, why is this husband so controlling and bossy like this? He keeps on calling. Even when we tell him we are still in the theater, he still calls me. And then I told them, did he call you? Then they say yes. Okay. Then I took my phone and called him and told him, hey, what were you saying? You were calling the doctors because of what? And then he said, no, I didn't call them. Those doctors are lying. I'm like, how the hell can a doctor lie? And they specifically say your name, that you're the one calling. Are you the only? If it was someone else, then they could have said someone. But your name, you are my husband. They called you.
Yeah.
And when I was in the theater, this is when this stupid man, this son of Pharaoh, was sending my son texts. Those bad texts that I'm talking about. He
On.
doesn't care whether I'm going to die or something, because he even told my son, I don't even know whether your mom will wake up, and don't ever call me again. I'm not your father. Hmm?
Wow.
Yeah. So after all these issues with me, I came back, and then again the social called me and told me, they asked me if I wanted them to close the case. So I said okay, because I was also getting tired of going there every day, and I go there and they don't help me. If I tell them my issues, they told me they cannot help me because it is a responsibility for an adult to contact the police if I want to file charges on this man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back home from that day, I called police, I recorded statement, blah blah blah, and now as we speak, I have an ongoing case for him. So I know,
Okay.
yeah, he's at the, because he even admitted at the police that he slapped me. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, and right now, no, during this pregnancy, he went and filed even for divorce for me without my knowledge. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh.
Yeah.
Because you're laughing.
It
Yeah.
is very sad and ridiculous. I have to laugh. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
love.
It's a psychopathic mindset.
Yeah,
Only
no,
you
look,
you're
he went he
putting
went
yourself.
and he went and filed divorce, and I was very fine. I was saying, finally I'm going to be free, finally I'm going to start to live again. I've been living like a prisoner in this house, so I was happy, blah blah blah. only because when somebody filed divorce for you, the court sends papers, right?
Yes.
The court sends you papers. So when they sent them, and I had contacted lawyer because I didn't understand this language, so
Yeah.
I told this lawyer, can you please translate this thing so that I'm not signing something that they want to take my son away from me.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I said I will not sign anything until I get this sorted. If you translate for me and you tell me what to do, that is what I'm going to do. Because when I came here, I had good money, so I could afford that lawyer. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the lawyer told me, you want I help you to send him away from that house because you have kids. It is your right. You can stay in that house. I told the
Mm-hmm.
lawyer, no, I just need to get rid of this man. He started by filing divorce for me, and even me now, because I've already passed through a lot. I've tolerated a lot. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
time for us to everybody just walk away.
I know.
So the lawyer told me, because whatever he wrote on the divorce, because when you want to divorce, they ask you, why do you want to divorce? So he said that he has only lived with me for 4 months, and he can see that,
Wow.
yes, and he can see that the relationship is not working. So the
Wow.
lawyer told me, for him to say that, he wants that the marriage be annulled, and once that
He
marriage
wants
is
to
annulled,
sabotage you.
yes,
Yeah.
and once that marriage is annulled, you will be deported back to Kenya, because they'll think
Yeah.
that you just came here for the papers. So the
Yeah.
lawyer told me, when did you get married? I said 2016. Then he said, okay, do this. Take a paper, don't even type. Take a paper, 2 full scraps, write everything as it has been. You send it back to the court. From there,
Mm.
the court will send him whatever you said. And
Wow.
if he wants to continue with this divorce, fine, let him do it. But at least you'll be at peace.
I know.
I wrote my things there. I said I had a big house in Nairobi. I had a big shop. I was having money. I had money in Kenya, and I want this man to
Yes.
compensate me for using me to come here, destroying my life, and even to make it worse, making me feel like a beggar in this country. And he knows very well that I can't speak the language, even though right now I'm in school, I'm studying this language. I told the
Kudos.
court, yeah, I told the court this. And now the court sent him this document. And then, he had not called me for almost 1 month when this issue was happening, because he left the house and went to stay with his mother. So he called
Oh
me,
God.
hey, Audrey, oh, why, did you contact any lawyer? And then I told him, no, I didn't contact any lawyer. Then he said, but why? Who wrote for you these things here? I said, I did it myself. You wrote yours. I had to respond. Okay. So
Yeah.
once he realized that I had told the court this, because do you know, this man used me to open a company in Kenya, and this company is having me and him as a signatory, okay, and we also,
Wow.
yes, we also have 2 banks account, and those are Premier with Standard Chartered Bank, and
And you
those,
have to pay
yeah,
for that as well.
yeah, and this he's not willing to pay this the taxes. So I told the court, before I divorce him, I need him to clear those things and also terminate me from anything that associate me and him there.
Yes, that is
And
Come on,
very
that's
important.
very
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I told, and even his name, I will remove, because he even made me change even my name to his name. What the hell? Hmm?
Wow.
So once he realized this, again he sneak and go and withdraw the divorce and come back and tell me, I think now
That's
we
a psychopath.
yeah. Then he says,
Yeah.
then he says, oh no, now I think we are going to work this out. And then I ask him, how? Because you are still you, you'll never change. This is you, and I cannot change you. You can never change a grown man. Okay.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you cannot. So I
Yes.
told him, please, let us get done with this. And from that day he terminated the divorce. He has not changed. He's still the same. And even now, yesterday, I came up with this idea, telling him, for the sake of your son, I think it's best we separate, so that this son can be able to have both parents together. Otherwise, you leave me with no choice but packing my things and going back to Kenya. Hmm? And then now today he said, oh, it's okay. Then I think we have a meeting on Friday so that we can talk. So I told him, okay, fine. I'm going to call my sister from Canada to come. We sit, you bring your people, we decide, because this is nonsense. I've tolerated you too much. I don't think any other woman will tolerate this man like I do it.
No one would. Even me, I
Hmm?
would not. Trust me.
Yeah,
And I
and you know, Nelly, he keeps on thinking that when he tells me that he's going to file a divorce, I will get scared. No, that is what I want, and that's what I've been pushing for since the day he slapped me. That is my main goal. I want him out of my life forever and ever, and I don't care whether he can hear me or not. That's not my problem.
I'm just so proud of the strength you have garnered
Yeah,
Yeah.
along this abuse and everything, and it shows there's your testimony, right? Like your what you're telling us right now kind of shows there's another strong woman who's been brewed out, who watches out for herself and takes care of herself and hers, and is
Yeah.
not willing to settle for less. And I'm
no,
so proud of you for doing
I'm
that.
I'm not going to give him any more time to mess with me. Enough
Yeah.
of it. I've had enough. And if it means that I have to go to Kenya, fine, I will go back.
And going to Kenya is not an option you must be forced to cornered to choose. You can choose to stay in the country where you live right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you know, when he was filing for this, he was like, I can also go and file for full custody of the child. Do you know this man? I think he's psychopath. This man, because he
I
even
know.
he even put I don't know what, how do you call it, spies on my Wi-Fi, that every part, everything that I do on the internet, he's monitoring and he records them.
But
Yeah.
I feel like you've been living with someone with personality disorder.
Yeah, he
Very
is.
sick.
In
Yeah.
fact, he's I think he's mental. In short.
Yeah.
And
Of
Mhm.
course, most abusive people have personality disorders, and like you said yourself, you can't change such a person.
You cannot.
First of all, like Nelly has said, for me, I have very much respect for you. Not everyone can come out there and speak of their experience, although I always encourage people to talk, even at least when you don't show your face, because you never know how helpful that could be and which other person you could be helping right now. We're here all chatting with you, but maybe one of us is going through the same, and we've not been able to share.
And even you know, when we fight sometimes, you people, I've not told you this man. I think for me, when I talk it out, I feel like the anger is getting out of me.
I think it's better to actually speak it out. I would highly advise you to speak it out. And I'll tell you why. I told you, I've gone through abuse before.
Mhm. But
When
yours was not worse than mine. You see, this is.
it was worse. It was all abuses are worse, my friend. It was worse, but what you've gone through, I would just say on Mashujaa Day, I salute you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And
Um.
so
Wow.
yeah, now he even tells me that, because no, when now I had to go back to the theater, he says, so you don't want to have another baby because you already have a ticket to Europe, eh? I'll make sure they deport you
Oh.
back. Yeah, he says this. Then I tell him, this is
What
not your
is
mother's
happening?
country. I told him, this is not your mother's country, and the country doesn't belong to you, and you are no moral obligation to decide to me whether I should leave or not.
I
And as I
know.
told you, if I am leaving, I live with my kids as I came. And if I'm staying, it is me that will decide that. So you
It
have no
should be,
moral
yes.
obligation
It's
to
you
tell
to
me if I should
decide.
go. Yeah,
That is the one I was waiting for. It is
yeah,
you to
Should
decide,
be at
to
your
choose.
terms,
It is
yes.
your choice. I think for me, let me just kind of just come in between here.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this man is someone who married without knowing your intellect, and without
Mm,
knowing
Yes.
you as much as you don't understand the language, you somehow went to school. Some men,
yeah.
when they take women from Africa, they took them from the forest.
No,
Exactly.
don't
No,
even
no, no,
start.
no. Don't even start. He told me that you come from the forest and you want to be treated like a royal queen, and then
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
It's
So,
the
Nelly, that
audacity for me.
confirms
Let
what
me
I
just
said from the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
Yes, that.
And
fi-
he can't stomach that I'm too tough, that I can
You're
stand for
actually
myself.
intelligent.
Yeah, he
Yes.
can't stomach it. And then I told him, not every we might be black, but we have some senses in us. We went to school. And I also
You don't
told
even
him
have to go to
bluntly.
school to be intelligent. You're such an intelligent woman. There's something we call, there's a difference between intelligence and intellect. We
Yeah.
have an inborn intellect, and you have this born intelligence. You don't have to go to school. And to me, you don't sound stupid.
I'm
So
not
he's
Exactly.
stupid.
actually stupid.
And I even told him, in Kenya we were colonized by British. We are the British that were left in Kenya. So for your information, you are not dealing with a stupid idiot woman here. Okay?
I know.
Mhm.
I know. And then I told him, if you continue doing this, I'm going to contact immigration myself. And
Mhm.
now, as we speak, we are going to file for a divorce. If he doesn't do it, I'm gonna do it myself.
I think at some point also, if he chooses not to comply, it might just go ahead and be a divorce, and
Yeah.
does not mean you get deported or you get sent back
No.
to Kenya.
No.
No.
No, it does not. You can go back if you choose to go back, but I will
Yes.
also say you'll have to look. And the reason saying when I'm going to say this is because we're talking about single motherhood and
Mm-hmm.
how our relationship with our spouses affect our children. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say it's you to choose what type of future you want to create for your child, the one you've shared with him
Mm-hmm.
and him. Because if
Mm-hmm.
it cannot work between the two of you, it does not mean it cannot work between him and his future.
Yes.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you also have to be aware and have your ears wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a man is abusive to you, he can carry the same traits to your son.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
need to be aware and filter and see, is he worth that opportunity, or is he worth
Yes.
not?
He is not. I
Every
can
child,
say
your
with a
child,
capital N-O, not.
every time your child goes to see daddy, me, I do take reports. Take report. Me, when my son come from school, how was school? I take report. Take report. How was it? Listen to what the child is telling you and what the child is telling you as funny, that
Mm.
cannot be so funny. Those anger outbursts and stuff like that, they could be a hint to a red flag. You could
Mm.
Yes.
see, but your child can say them in an innocent way.
Mm.
Need to be aware that this person, you now know he well, you know him very well, you know him in and out.
Yeah.
And so as much as you are parting ways, I think you should still allow him to be the father figure in his child's life. If you I call it a blessing for a child to have a father figure, if it's possible, but also be aware that abuse can be carried forward even to children. It can also, the people who are abusive to you can also be abusive to their very own blood. And if he especially was able to beat you up when you're
Mm.
pregnant,
I know.
Yeah.
trust me, he can do worse when
Yeah.
when the child goes to stay with him and say,
Yeah.
shh,
Mm.
don't say anything. And then there's nothing as painful as 18 years later, your son or your daughter tells you, mommy, when I used to go to see daddy, he used to beat me up. Or he'll tell me
Aw.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It pains a
And
lot.
Nelly, let me ask the guests.
Mhm.
Let's say if I want to travel with my kids to Kenya and he's refusing that his son can never leave this country, what more can I do about that?
According to the child law,
Mm.
for as long as you people are not yet divorced, you have
Mm-hmm.
a right, even if you were divorced and you have
Mm.
As-
shared custody.
Yeah, we
You
do.
have a right to fly with that child to wherever. You only have to let him know. It doesn't have to be written. You just call him and say, we're traveling. You have to tell him you're traveling to Kenya. We're going to be away for 2 weeks. If he
Mm.
has his child, for example, because according to child rights, if you
Mm.
remain with double custody, he will
Mm.
also get a right to see that child every 14 days
Mm.
and maybe spend 2 weeks in the school holiday with the child and so on and so forth. So
Mm.
that joint responsibility that you have as a couple, you must let each other know, but you have a right to take the child. If you lose the custody,
Mm.
you can't take the child unless he's kind enough to say, okay, you can take the child. And I think that's why I should come in, because you talked about something. For me, listening to your story, it sounds good for you because he's messed up already so much that you have enough evidence to turn tables around for you.
Mm.
So you see that what he's trying to use right now is making sure that you lose custody of your child, because
Yeah.
that's the only way he can hurt you. And I also want to assure you, according to the immigration law,
Mm.
you divorcing him and even losing custody doesn't mean you have to be deported. You won't actually be deported. You still remain the mother of that child. And by child rights, there's an argument. I don't want to get too professional here, but that's my job. There's always this argument of, even if we divorce, I can't move to Kenya, for example, because the cost of you having to see your child every 2 weeks would not be possible, because that means you'd either have to fly to Sweden every 14 days, or he would have to fly that child to you, to Kenya, every 14 days, which he can't do and can't afford. So by all means, the law still suggests you will still have a right to stay in Sweden, no matter what happens. But from the perspective of a mother, if I divorced, of course, I would want to take my children with me. That's the part he could try to play around. And the advice I is going to give is, be careful how you communicate with him. Just do all conversations by phone. If he SMSs you, don't ever lose your cool and SMS him. Don't use that statement again of, I'm going to go, okay, if you want me to leave, I will leave. I will go to Kenya, but I will take my child. If he ever gets that documented as evidence, for example, in an SMS, it can be very bad for you, because it's a very great fear here in Europe and by the law that if you're married to someone from a foreign country, there's always a danger of you taking the child, and that is against the family laws, because you're denying one parent the right. So make sure you don't use that statement with him again. Even if you're thinking it, don't say it again until the divorce is over.
He should.
Because
Yes, but
because
he
I
can't stop
wanted
you
to
to
go
take
to
the
Kenya,
child.
and he refused that I should. He's refusing that. He's telling me to take the older one and go with him and leave this. He's here.
No, he has no right. You have
Yeah.
a right to
So for
fly
me,
as
I
long
thought.
as you tell him.
So for me, I thought he's telling me I go with the other one because he wants that once I'm in Kenya, he locks me out, and that is
Exactly.
why
That's what I'm telling you.
that's
Don't
why
do
I
that.
wanted to go with both of them to Kenya. Then I
No,
told
you
him.
just, now let me give you a tip. Make sure you always have evidence. That is very important. So
Mm,
write him an
mm,
SMS or write a letter, put it in
An
the
email.
post,
mm,
make a photo of it that you
mm,
sent it. You understand? So even
yeah.
if you're in Kenya and he tries to use the I've seen such cases also in my job where parents, like, you're divorcing, you fly with a
Mm,
child, and then
mm.
he goes to court and files a case, you've abducted the child.
Yes,
Then Interpol comes
that's what he
looking for you
threatened
and
me
you lose
with.
any right of ever stepping back in Sweden. So you make sure you have your evidence, you have a letter, such that even if police shows up at the airport, you're like, here's the letter.
Mm,
Alternatively, you now know where the social offices is, or from those letters, you have an address.
yeah.
Send him the letter, like I've said, or through a message. Write
Mm,
a letter, even if it's handwritten and you can write it in English, it's your
mm-hmm,
right.
mm,
Send it to the social services. Tell them, I'm planning to travel to Kenya from the 14th to the 20th of November. I've
mm,
also let the father of my child know, and that's
mm,
it. That's
mm.
the law. You have a right. You don't even have to go to XYZ.
Yeah,
And for the
because every
divorce,
time I
you
tell
can
him.
also file for a divorce, and he has no right to say, I don't want. I filed for
Mm,
divorce,
mm,
so it's also your right to file for divorce. But the day of the divorce, when it comes, when you're sitting in
mm,
court,
mm,
they will say, we give you the divorce, and then they will tell the man or the woman, do you accept the divorce? So he can
mm,
say, I don't accept it. Then they will give it a duress of 2 weeks. If he still doesn't accept and you insist, I want a divorce, you'll still get your divorce. So that is
mm.
also your right. You can go ahead and file for divorce. Even with him saying, I don't want it, it's your right to file for divorce.
Yeah, because I wanted to go to Kenya to check on my other kids, and I was
Yes.
just going there maybe for 1 week and come back here. But he's making it very hard for me. He is refusing that I cannot go with his son. He said if I go with the son, he's going to say that I kidnapped the child. You see, things like
No,
this.
that doesn't
So,
matter. But like I've
Depending more
said,
on
please keep
your.
it in mind.
mm,
Don't make the mistake, because unfortunately you want to live at a time when you people are going through this process. You understand? By law, there's
mm,
no law that forbids you to fly with your child. But at the moment you're in this terrible process where we want to be sure that no one comes to suspect and to believe him that it's actually true, you wanted to abduct the child and deny him his father rights. So make sure before you fly, just write him the notice. You don't even have to beg him, just write and let him know, from this and this, I'm leaving the country, coming back on this date. Even if he went to police and you've already written this letter, they will tell them, okay, but she told you she's coming back on the 14th. Let's wait. If she doesn't come back on the 14th, then we'll pursue the case. You understand? So nothing can happen, but please make sure you do that.
We've lost her. I hope she comes back.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
I'm looking forward to her joining back. I've sent the link again. If you're able to join again, I would really appreciate it. But again, I think this is someone banking on the fact that you are not so well informed of the laws of the country where you live in,
Yeah.
and trying to see if there's anything he can say that would make you feel like you're not doing the right thing, just to shake you off a little bit.
Yeah.
He's mostly trying to scare you from scare her from doing can you, oh yes, you're back. Thank
Hello,
you.
sorry, my phone died.
Sorry. Like I was saying, I think this is he knows you are not so well conversant with the laws of the country you live in,
Yeah.
and that probably you also don't know your rights as a foreign person or individual in that country.
Mm.
And I think also you should try and, for me, I usually see there's no fault in booking an up, and correct me, Rose, if I'm wrong, booking an appointment and asking a social worker, for example, like, well, how can I go about this and stuff like that? Because here in Finland, I see we have Neuvola, which is the mother and child. So if you
Yeah.
have like a smaller child, you can always have like access to a social worker. There's a
Yeah.
family social worker, and you can always be free to talk to them about anything and ask them anything. And one thing I'd talk to or advise anyone who's here right now, when we moved here, basically had to start life here by myself without my husband. And one thing I did is I had a meeting with the social worker, and I was like, I told her I don't know anything. So we had a day where she just drove me around and would tell me, if you need help with this, you go here. If you need help with this, you go here. You understand? And I feel like many a times, as foreigners, when you move, especially to Europe, we give a blind eye on the fact that these people don't see us as equals. Like
Yeah.
they might see us as equal, but they don't see the same equal opportunity
Yeah.
and a place on the table to air our opinions and views. And most of the time, it could be because we're afraid to talk and afraid to overstep, or afraid to just, you feel like it's not your place to ask. You feel like it's the new, you feel like time will take you to the places you need to, things you need to learn and stuff like that. And it's okay, because also moving abroad is a hard thing. But for me, I believe in getting information. Ask, 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 ask. And I'd rather have a meeting and know about, like, for me, I don't shy from asking, because by asking you get to know. Because the things like this, they're things you have never experienced in Kenya. I'm sure
Yeah.
even with your previous baby daddies, you never had to go through something like this. And these are all first-hand experience you're going through. So no one expects you to have a manual on how to deal with this kind of situation, you
I
know?
know.
And that's why I'm saying I'm so proud of you for even the milestone you made for your own self, by your
I
own
know.
self, without going crazy. Because I'll be mad. I'll be
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind. But I think for me, I would say, like, I information is power. And however you get to have the information, you need to try really hard and make sure that you look out for yourself, mm, especially being in a new country, yourself and your children. Because yes, you can lose your mind. If you lose your mind, you lose your children. If you lose your children,
Yeah.
starting afresh, especially for a mother after giving birth, is not easy. I would not want to watch myself lose my children. No.
I know.
Yeah, but that is what this stupid son of a bitch was trying to do.
Yeah, because that is
Yeah.
always their only power, you know. And like Nelly has said, if you're not informed, they know. It's unfortunate, but they will always have someone who will believe them faster than they believe you. So it's all about how confident you are, how hungry you are to get information or to get your rights. like when you go to the social service systems or to the child systems, that you say, I want to know my rights. Because unfortunately, in our fields, we are just human. You'll also meet a social worker who is racist, who look at you and be like,
Yeah, yeah.
these girls, we've had
Just
enough of you. Or we know these girls come here to rape men. Or we know these girls come here just for citizenship. So you have to
You
come
know,
up as
there's a
confident,
social
and you
worker
have to know
who'd
your
look at
rights.
me, Ruth.
yeah.
There's someone who'd look at me and see my hair and say I'm crazy.
Absolutely. And that's why I
Just
said at the beginning, I know it's unfair, but when you go to such offices, try to cool down our African temper, because unfortunately there's a lot of prejudice about it. By cooling down our temper, I don't mean you act intimidated, because you hear how I talk. I'm a very confident woman, and believe me, it has taken me places. You have to be confident, but keep your calm, keep your cool. Don't make someone push you to a state where they're like, she's crazy. And these
Yeah, you
men use
see,
that. He will
you see,
intimidate you,
I
he will
had you.
provoke you. You have to be very careful towards the divorce. If you apply for it, he might try many ways of provoking you, to an extent that he might even come and say, oh, I've come to pick up our child. And then he will provoke you. Maybe you'll shout with him. And in that moment, he will call police. I'm sure he's going to try all different means to make sure that you lose custody. But I can assure you and comfort you that it's not as easy as people think. That is
Do you
something
know?
that is very sensitive, and no social worker gives that right that easily. So it won't be happening unless you really, really lose it and you knock your child on the wall. But that is something that you shouldn't be worried about, because
I
that's a
want to
very,
comment
very
about
sensitive issue.
something that you said earlier concerning the social telling somebody you go for, I don't know, for psychological
Yes,
therapy. They did try this. They tried this with me many, many times. I told them I don't need this.
yes,
All I
don't do
need,
that.
yeah. Can you imagine that in fact, even they were telling me, oh, you can go and you don't need to tell that man that you have gone there. I told them I'm not going there because I know I'm not crazy. Okay.
Yes, you can do it after the divorce, because there's
Mm.
nothing wrong about therapy. But the bad thing, doing it in that state, especially if you're feeling okay and someone is just pushing you, it reduces your credibility. So when
Yeah.
the time comes for custody or going to court, the child
Mm.
service, we also do court appearings. Like if your
Yeah.
case goes to court, us
Mm.
as social worker, we come to court and we'll come with an act or a file explaining the reason why we think you should lose custody. And
Mm.
once the social worker says you should lose custody because ABC, then
That's
you
it.
definitely lose it, no matter the number of lawyers you have. So
Mm.
don't ever accept that, because it reduces your credibility, because I'll come in court and argue you're mentally not in a space to take care of that child. You're not emotionally under control of your feelings, ABC, and the judge will say that is the decision, which is unfortunate,
Talking
but that's the law.
about it now and hearing it from you, I think it is even this man is the one who was telling them to tell me, because every time they kept on saying, you should go, you must go, you should go. I said,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
must have told
going.
them you're mentally
Yeah.
crazy, because they do
Yeah.
that a lot. So don't
Because
accept it. Once we have that file, it's not good for you.
yeah, and they even say, it is only for you so that you can go and talk about the physical abuse you are going through, whatever, blah blah blah. I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
no.
yeah.
I came to you people. You already made it clear that you are not going to do anything for me. You are only specialized for the kids. So please
Yes,
deal with the kids issue. Leave my problem out of this as it is right
yes.
now.
And can I interject a little bit,
Yeah.
Ruth?
Yeah.
I would say for me, I'm trying to just think, because I'm not a social worker. You have like more say into this than I do at the
No.
moment, especially when it comes to European laws. But I would like to ask or state or
Mm,
ask
mm,
basically,
mm,
if, for example, the social workers, they're social workers, right? And then there are another category of social workers who take care of, for example, immigrants and stuff like that.
mm,
I feel like it's okay, because as human beings, we basically don't handle stress really well. And for me, I'll give an example. For example, I've gone through, I always go for therapy, and this I would saying anytime. I always go for therapy. Not, I mean, of late I've not been going so much because I've been going to school, but I do go for therapy. Okay, and therapy has made me 100% sane somehow up here. Okay, and I usually, for example, here there are organizations like Monica Foundation that take care of women of immigrant backgrounds, where you have people who actually are able to counsel you, advise you, help you come out of an abusive relationship and stuff like that. And I feel like you, as much as you don't have to go through the government's social worker, you can talk to people like this because you are going through a lot. And in a country where you don't have someone to call your friend, your relative, your mother, your father, any supportive support system, it's important to talk to people, to someone at least to get heard or get advice. Do you understand? Because these are people, they're more or less like human rights activists in their own kind of special way. What do you think, Cruz?
What you're saying is very true. We also have them here, but for her, like you, we've listening to her case, she's not very, oh, I don't like talking about you in the third person. Audrey is not so informed about the situation in Sweden. There are organizations like, I'm trying to translate now, Women Help Women, for example. We have
Mhm.
Caritas, that is a Catholic organization. And like I said, therapy is not bad and she can take it on. The question is, under which conditions have you got this therapy?
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to explain to you how this works. When you come to the child, when your case is in the child care system, there's a difference between child care system and immigration. I
Mm.
can work in immigration, for example, I can change and say now, because we are all under the same umbrella, we are all under the Ministry of Family, Health, and Immigration. That is one umbrella ministry that we work under. So if you come to the child, if your case comes to the child services system, and maybe your husband, because prior I said, unfortunately for her, her husband goes there, speaks the Swedish language, she doesn't know what he has said. And then a social worker comes and suggests, maybe you should go for therapy. And I'll tell you how that comes upon. When we have conversations with couples, I listen to both sides, and then you
Mhm.
decide what are the key points. And the good thing with this job is, and for you, Audrey, every conversation we have with you, even if it's just a by the way, you call me and you're like, oh my God, he shouted at me today. By law,
Mm.
we must write that down. So it's in our
Mm.
systems.
Mm.
So the problem is if they are sending you to therapy because probably your husband said you're mental, you're crazy, and I'm going to be very brutal with you because these are cases we handle every day. You
It is
could
not.
turn
It
things
is not
around and
like
say,
my
even
husband
you
didn't
remember the
say.
time
He said this to
she
the
went for
school.
the abortion. At that moment, she was having her phase of madness. She's been mentally sick for a long time, blah, 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 for example.
He
And
did
you
say.
don't know that. And a
He
social
did
worker has had
say.
that in their system and they believe it that you're actually having a mental problem. And then
Mm.
you go for this therapy. It works against you because it's as good as saying, yes, it's true, I'm crazy. You
Mm.
understand?
Yeah. Yeah. He
So
did
my
say to
argument
the
would be,
school.
you'd ask the social worker, how do you come to the conclusion that I need to see a therapist? Yes, this marriage is complicated. Yes, I've suffered enough, but the assistance I actually need is for me to get out of this marriage, is for me to bring my child in a safe space, because that is the job of the child systems. Their job is to make sure your child, actually, you're not important. Your child gets into a safe space at all costs. So your answer should
Yeah.
be, once I've got to a safe space for my child, I'll consider for myself how I get to work up and, therapize these wounds, the mental, the physical that I've got. But my priority now is first to get out of this relationship. So
Yeah.
therapy is okay, but you have to be careful under which constellation it has been offered.
She's
No.
saying that
No.
the man must
the
have
the the man went when he was going to say these things in school, and that's why the school was saying that he has mental issues, is
Yes,
because he told them that he thinks that I'm crazy and I should be
yes.
deported back to Africa or Kenya, wherever it is. So that is the reason why this social also, I think they wanted me to go for this therapy, but I told them
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm not going for any therapy. I'm not crazy. The one who needs therapy is my husband, not
It's
He's
me.
my
him
man, yes.
actually.
That
It's
was
him
good.
who
And
needs it.
Miss
Yeah.
Mwango, Miss Mwango has said something very true. That's why I told you have to be very careful that it doesn't bring you in this system. Because
Mm,
unfortunately, like I told you, when it finally comes to court, we get
mm,
let me try to translate it from the German language in my head. When you're going to court, like I told you,
mm,
the social worker is actually the one who decides which direction it takes. So we always also get a copy of your act. I think that is a German word. I don't know how they call it in English, like of your file, what the therapist thinks as
Uh-huh.
regards from the time they've had with you. You understand?
yeah.
And you never know what comes out, because when you're at a therapist, you think it's a safe space, you'll open up, blah, blah, blah. and maybe the therapist could come to the conclusion, which could be true or not, because I don't know you, but they could come to a conclusion that you're actually mentally unstable and hence unsafe for that child. That child cannot stay with you. You need to become mentally stable first. And once the therapist sends that file, for me as a social worker, it is not my right to change the words because he's downward therapy with you. I just add that file on the court case that I'm going to present in court. So I will talk my side, why I think ABC from the talks I've had with you. That's why they met you 15 times. And then I'll also say, according to the therapist, ABC, and this is the reason why we think she's not fit to keep this child.
And you are very true. This was his main motive, or main. He wanted to achieve specifically that they take my child away from me, because he is the one going to school and told them that my brain, I'm not well in my brain, and he wants me to be deported back to Kenya. So when I went to this social tried to push me every day. Like they tried like almost 10 times. I told them, listen, and the last time now I told them, listen very careful. I might be black, but I have some sense. The person who needs to go to the therapy is my husband. And if you cannot make him go to the therapy, please stop asking me about it, because I'm not going to take any therapy. And then they decided now to close the case, and they sent me a very big letter written in Swedish. But I told them again, I will not check that document. I have all the rights for you to translate it for me, because I don't even know what you write. You wrote
are
there.
Very smart.
Yeah, I told them I'm not taking this paper, this letter that you sent me, because I don't know what you wrote there, and maybe in future I might need it in court. And then I even switch talked them and told them, my lawyer told me that you must give me one in English so that we can read everything that is written here.
Yes.
Yeah, and they did that. Once I got the English version, this man comes and tells me, why did you take the letter without showing me? And then I asked him, what do you want to see on that specific document? While they were sending these letters, they sent us both. You have yours, the same as mine, but everybody has their copy. You can speak Swedish. You are Swedish. Why can't you read that one? What else do you want to read on my English?
Or if you want the English version, you also ask for the English version. Now that you're also stupid enough to understand your own language.
He wanted the English version, and I told him, my
he
lawyer
can even
told
ask
me,
for the audio version because he cannot read.
Yeah. So so I told him, you can do this, because my lawyer already has my document. I don't have it here, though I have it, but I still lie. So I told him, what you can do, contact the social, tell them you need another one in English, and I know that he can speak Swedish. He's Swedish,
even in audio.
I know.
And then he said,
show once to someone. I'll just be like, tell them even the audio one. Actually, they do even audios. They can read it for you in audio and send it to you.
I know.
And
the good thing, and explained everything to you.
Yeah, and the good
they
thing,
get paid a lot of money for what? To sit there.
And the good thing with me, because my lawyer had told me, if you happen to go to the social, make sure your phone is always on recording mode, so that you record every little detail they are telling you, and at least when they come and say this, we can play this in court. Make sure you have every evidence that you can collect from them.
You have a good lawyer.
Yeah, and then this lawyer was like, that your man is a psychopath, and please don't give him that document. If he wants an English one, let him contact the social. Then the social will think that he's really crazy, because if he's Swedish, he has a letter. If he still want another one for English, what is his problem?
He's just someone who's stupid and does not realize that he's really stupid, and does not know that he's expressing his stupidity in everything that he does.
Yeah, and then he said, no, I just want to read those things. When you speak Swedish and when they translate it, because he used to threaten me that he feels like strangling me. So I was telling this social that I need to get out of here. If I have to go to the shelter, please take me there. But these people, the reason why I thought they were siding with him, they refused completely. Even after I'm coming from the hospital, the man wakes up at 3 a.m. at night, walks with a towel, starts eating things. But the good thing, I was not sleeping. I think he wanted to kill me with that towel.
Oh,
yeah, he
I think. Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying this for you guys to feel sympathy for me,
Do you
but
still
that
live
is
in the
the
same
truth.
house with him?
No, no, the police made sure he moved out. He's somewhere. That's why I'm yapping like this.
Okay.
He has
Guys,
his
you've gone through
he has his own house, and I'm also staying here. But now I'm trying to make him file for this divorce because that is the only thing I need to give me back my peace. I need my peace
Yeah.
of mind, and
it's
I
now
want to
the
start
final
living.
stretch.
Hmm?
It's now the final stretch of your way to your freedom and mental
Yeah.
well-being.
Yeah, and you see, like he said, on 5th of this month, he texted me and told me that he needs to book time with me. We need to talk about the future. So I'm wondering, what future are we
Don't.
talking?
In the presence of lawyers or just you and him?
Me and him.
D- don't. You make sure there's someone else because, like I told you, you people are in
Ask
a
for a
very
third
bad
party.
process right
Hmm?
now. He can do anything, like I said, to turn the tables around.
Yeah,
I would suggest there's someone around because he
Ask for
can
a
put you
third
in a situation
party
where everyone will
because
believe him you're crazy.
yeah.
and he may even
I
just come.
told him, we call my sister who is in Canada because she's willing to come, and then
Yes.
the text I got from him back, he said, are you serious? You want to involve someone else in our lives? And
There
then I
has
said,
to
there
be
is
a
no
third
life.
party.
And then I told him, this is the only person that knows me so well. And
Yes.
I need to have someone who will be listening to what you have to say. And also I will be recording whatever you are saying.
As a
Because
witness, yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
for you to come and tell me you want us to talk about future, but I know what future he means. He means that he wants, because he now, after all this rubbish, he said, I don't want you to leave. I want you to live here so that I can be able to see my son, because I will never go back to Kenya, and also my son will never go back to Kenya, and also you said you cannot go back to Kenya without your son. So I told him that is not possible. If you have to have a talk, you bring your father or your mother, I will bring my
Yes.
sister. We put this thing down. Or if it's hard, we go to the social.
Yes.
It's that simple.
I almost was going to tell Ruth, do you know how to do it?
I know.
Let me train before that day.
Do
It
you
is
know
very
how
sad,
to
but
do
it's
that
funny.
one?
Like Christopher
He's
has
trying,
said, the guy is
you
so
know,
stupid, but he's not stupid. Unfortunately, that's why you have to be careful. He's so evil, and I'm glad you people are no longer in the same house because he's even capable of killing you.
Yeah.
this
Yes.
guy is,
Because that
is
day he woke up with a towel, and that day I had just came back from removing this thing, because I almost died from this abortion, because they took me there and did, I don't know, spiral or whatever it is, I don't know. So I came back and I was really sick, and then he tells me, you are pretending, you are not even sick. The doctor said once you have done this, you should get up and cook and clean the house and whatever.
Oh
I
my
said, I
God.
told him, go fuck
what?
yourself. I'm not going to get up and do anything. I will sit here for
Wow.
4 weeks to regain my weight, my weight loss, whatever it is, my energy. I need to get it back. And then he said, I know, you just came here. You want to be treated like a royal queen. You want me to be cooking and bringing food to you. Then I told him,
Yeah,
this
because he was
pregnancy.
responsible for the pregnancy.
Yeah,
Hello.
yes, yeah. Then I told him, the reason why I'm in this bed is because of you forcing yourself and making me pregnant, even after knowing that I don't want to get pregnant, because I didn't want to get pregnant because already I'm seeing red flag. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to just stay away from him as much as I can. But still, he forced himself and I got pregnant, you see? And then again, he has to blame me for being sick after this abortion. Then I'm like, are you for real? This is, I don't want to
Wow.
say this here, but I was feeling like, okay, fine.
Good riddance. Let us
Yeah.
know when the divorce is through. I mean, even if you had not been sick or anything,
Mm?
what is that kind of person who thinks that a sick person, the audacity alone, get up and cook and clean?
Yeah, and you
Jesus
see
Christ.
the way Miss Mwango is saying that he once slapped me and he can do even worse. That's true. That's why I'm saying he slapped me. I'm carrying his son on my lap,
Wow.
and because his son is sick, he's refusing to call the doctor. I also went to the operation, came back, and he wakes up at night with the
With
towel
a towel on
swinging.
their hands. That's a
Yeah,
man.
And then
Did
I just felt something on my body. I just woke up quickly.
My God.
And then I
He
found him
wanted to
standing.
suffocate you.
Yeah, I found him standing. I asked him, "What's the problem? What is it?" Then he said, "No, I'm looking for the diapers because when I came from the hospital, now I had to sleep in another room, and he has to have the kids on the other." So he came and said, "I was looking for the diapers. Where are they?" And then I asked
Oh
him,
my God.
"I've been at the hospital for the last 2 days. How am I supposed to know where the diapers are in this
when
house?"
he's the one who's been at home?
Yeah, he wanted to kill me. That is what I always say until today. But thank God, he woke me up because I just felt some
Huh.
cold all over my body, and I just got up and
Wow.
sat down. I found him with a towel. I asked him, "What is it?" And this time it is 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m.
Wow.
You know, there's always this conception that white people, and I'm not of this category. I just want to put that out here. I believe abuse is abuse. Whether you marry a black person, a white person, an orange
Yes.
person, a gray person, a blue person, abuse
Mm.
is abuse.
We don't have blue person, Nelly.
Green one, I will not marry. You marry Nelly.
No, seriously, whatever you call that person, whether green, orange,
Yes.
whatever, even orange, people can be orange when
Yeah,
they're
I
blind to
know.
the sun. Abuse is abuse.
Yeah.
And I've seen along the way, especially, I don't know if it's now a trend or not a trend, but I think it's a trend where many, and especially young women, the DMs I get on my page, for example, and that's why for me I'm not so keen on posting like my family, if you've noticed, on especially Instagram, because with every post I make, I do get up to like 5 messages of, "Can you help me find a white man?"
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know where this started, because for me, I feel like at some extent, white people have been goditized or worshipped so much
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to say this here, but I feel like I just have to say it.
Your husband will
Women are
listen to you,
changing
Nelly.
a lot of things, not because they want to change. Ruth, for example, I go to the gym, right? I go to the
Yeah.
gym because I want to be flexible. I go to the gym because I want my body to be
You
perfect,
want to look
or
good, yeah.
nice for
Mm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
not for
Yeah.
my husband.
Mm.
You just get the extra goodness of that comes along with that, but I'm doing it for me. I feel like women these days are more like, it's about, oh, you dress like this for your man, you do like this for your
Yes.
man, you put your this on your vagina for your man, you do like.
And that's where the abuse and entitlement starts from. That's where a man
And
thinks he
then
can tell you.
this man, same man, sometimes could be sitting there and listening to you watching videos like how to make your vagina tight for your man. He's
That's
watching you,
nonsense.
listening and watching videos on how to look sexy for your man. There's never nothing you're watching to do with yourself, how to build your own self
Yes.
confidence, how to look beautiful for yourself, how to walk and feel proud of your own self. So you find that many a times, and forgive me to say this as well, the fish has become, or is now also a bait
Rotten.
for the fisherman.
Mhm.
The fisherman is thinking, "Oops, let me cast. I'm going to catch the fish," and the fish is there thinking, "If I'm the one who wants you more than you want me." You
Yeah.
understand? Because, for example, the men who are really good, genuine men out here in the
Mm.
internet and everywhere, and
Mm.
the men who basically know that they are useless, stupid, psychopath, who also believe, like, they think Africa is such a small place where I'll just go and take a woman and I'll treat them the way I can treat them and it's okay.
Mm.
And I feel like
Yeah.
it's also escalated by the fact that women these days, they, especially black women,
They
it's
want white men.
everyone thinks it's a trophy to be married to a white man, or to be living in Europe, or to be doing things. And I'm like, where did we lose our worth as people, as women?
Yeah.
Why do we have to? And for me, especially listening to Audrey, your story, it's kind of like, I hope if there's any young woman out here thinking, I only must find love in a white man because they'll treat me like what is it,
Like
lahija,
Prince Latifah.
Latifah, these romance movies. We forget those are movies actually, and then we think this is actually really what happens in relationships when it's not,
Yes.
you know. And then you get to a point and you're thinking the only man I must marry is a white man, and yet there's a black man somewhere who's been raised and molded up in a
Of
very nice
course.
way, who can be a father figure and a loving man. And I usually tell people my ex is not yet married.
Okay,
Point.
Nelly. I would
But
like
you're
to
right,
ask
Nelly.
the
There's
guest.
been so much idolization alone, the way people are even capitalizing and building businesses on that nonsense. How do I actually get married to a white man? I'm not saying you shouldn't get married to him. I always say none of us can
It
decide our destiny. But I'm
it
absolutely
pisses me.
against preaching the gospel of, look here, I'm having an amazing life because I married a white man. No, I'm having an amazing life because I'm getting this life for me. I went to school, I work hard, I know my worth. You know what I'm saying? But I don't entertain the narrative of us, especially sisters in the diaspora with white partners who want to preach to the little girls out there in Africa. When you get a white man, your life is sorted. I'm so absolutely
It's
against
not.
that. It's a lot of
Nelly,
nonsense.
Nelly,
I'm here.
can I ask this guest a question?
Uh-huh. Coco, you have missed a lot, but you are just on time. But you can rewatch this. You've really missed a lot, but we are still here. You can go ahead and ask Audrey.
Okay, the guest is her name is what? Rose.
Ruth.
Rose.
Yes.
Okay, Rose. I was asking because right now I want to divorce. So concerning the things that I mentioned earlier, the company that we have registered me and him in Kenya, and
Yeah.
also the bank accounts that we have shared. So
Yeah.
what will you suggest I do? Because I've been telling him I look for a lawyer in Kenya to
Yeah.
sort this issue out so that I make sure that everything is gone, and that's the main reason I wanted to go to Kenya.
Yeah.
But he also says that he right now he doesn't have money to pay for these things. It's like he doesn't want to do that. So
Yes. So I was going
what
to
would you
tell
suggest?
you. Yes, go on. Sorry.
No, what would you suggest?
Yeah, like I was saying, oh my God. I don't know where to start. So the problem is
Mm,
that one I'll also talk about it. I don't know if I ever find the time to do the videos because I'm too busy.
mm,
Once you get married, like I was saying before you joined us, I told Nelly, people think getting married is jackpot, but no one has ever sat down, especially in the European system, to ask themselves what happens actually when I
mm,
get married, and
mm,
what does that mean if we divorce? So
mm,
getting married to someone means,
mm,
if for example he's self-employed
mm,
and he never pays taxes, you people
mm.
now are joint tax partners automatically. If
Yeah.
you divorce and he has never paid tax and maybe he
Mm,
loses his job and he's not in position to pay the taxes, you will
mm,
get the letter to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
And
mm-hmm,
by law, you must pay the taxes, for
mm,
example.
mm.
So the first thing I was going to ask, I forgot, as you mentioned, that I don't know if you've ever signed for any loans with him here. That is a big
No,
mistake that most
he
people make. You
tried. He
didn't.
tried that shit with me that we should go and take a loan for the house, and I told him
Don't
never.
ever. I'm
Ever.
sorry, I know most people are saying I'm preaching, but I know I'll never probably
No,
get the
preach,
time to talk.
girl.
Preach. You need it. You need
Ruth,
it.
listen.
Yes.
We need that word to be like pounded like pound yam.
And another thing also, Ruth,
Yeah.
he also, when I got here, he also wanted that we have a joint account. And then I said
Yes.
again, no way. Because I
Because
heard how they do for people here. Once you
yes,
have it
because
and
the
then you
reason
have,
I'm talking now, I might never get. I always say I'll make videos, but like I told you, I'm a practicing social worker. I'm doing this
mm,
as a side hustle because I've seen so much through my work that I want to help. So the mistakes most people make: never sign for a joint account. A joint account means you or him can go and get a loan through the joint account. You're still
mm,
both liable. If he doesn't
mm-hmm,
pay back that loan, you will pay by law, whether you like it or not.
mm,
Mhm.
So signing for a loan, even if it's buying for your house, you have the excuse to tell him, darling, even if you're earning a little money, because most women, for example, if your parents, you do like part-time jobs, you're earning maybe 800 euro, whatever, you have a right to tell him, darling, I earn so little, it doesn't make sense for me to be a co-signer on this loan. I think you should do it, but in your head, you know why you're doing it. Because at the end, even if it's a loan for 500,000 for a house, 500,000 euro, if something goes wrong, you must pay it. Imagine paying such a debt all your life. Any debts he amasses while you're married, for example, you are also a liability. So for
Yeah,
you,
but
I
I
hope
refuse
you
to,
didn't
here in
sign for
Europe, I
any
refuse.
loans. And then, was he self-employed or employed as an employee in a company?
Sorry?
Was he having a business here in Sweden, or he was working like for a company getting a salary?
He's earning salary.
Okay, that is okay. So if your partner is self-employed, before you even go through with a divorce, you have to ask your lawyer, or you can write direct to the tax system and say, I got here, I'm a foreigner. As you can see, I've not yet even learned the language. Before we signed for the marriage, I didn't understand the dynamics, and I didn't know we were joint partners for the taxation. I request to be exempted because no one informed me. You'll get away with that because the tax law system always sends a letter, actually, which you also sign. But most people, because you're new here, you don't know the language, everything your husband gives you because you're in love, you sign. So you can use that as an excuse because the law caters for it to say, I signed a document that I didn't understand, and everyone knew I didn't understand the language. So you can also apply for that. So the problem you're going to get, your situation is in the foreign country. The Sweden law cannot do anything to assist you.
Yeah.
So you have to talk to your lawyer. That is something you have to make sure that your husband gets to do, because normally when you're married and you have children, you'll not get the divorce until all those issues are sorted, unfortunately. Yes, but I would suggest you don't put the burden on yourself, because that means if anything goes wrong, the people in Africa will ask the money from you. You're both liabilities. So make sure the lawyer pushes him to clear that, not you. So if that is the reason you're going to Kenya, don't do it. Because then you're making yourself liable, that you're the responsible person.
Also, I think
Unfortunately,
you
the
can
Swedish
also
law
put it.
cannot help you because that is in a foreign country.
Yeah, but I think also you can put it to your lawyer to have it in the divorce petition that you have all these joint accounts and everything that you've had together, so that it's agreed upon before the marriage is annulled.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it can help.
This one already, this issue for sharing this company, whatever, those ones already the court here knows about, because I raised them that first time. And that is the reason why he pulled out on the divorce and went and sneaked and terminated it again.
Yeah.
So, because I told him, you need to sort this out. Otherwise, I'll be responsible for that shit.
So why don't you tell your lawyer to serve the company lawyers in Africa? If it is whatever the company is called, he serves them legally, not you.
I tell the
Because
lawyer
it's going to mess up the process. He should write to them as your representation. I think, especially knowing the African system, how crazy it is, he will be more respected and they respond more than you. They'll start saying, give us bribes, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And then you'll be waiting for a divorce the next 3 years. I went through a divorce. I waited for 2 years. And our divorce was, a normal thing. We didn't have to fight or anything. But they have a lot of background checks they do. They will have to make sure your pension system is checked. For the time you are married, you people will share the pension. What are they called? Like the pension credits and everything. There's a lot they do before they actually give you a divorce. So unfortunately, they will go through that process, and if it's not cleared, you'll stay there for years waiting for a divorce. So you tell your lawyer you'd want him to serve the people in Africa, the responsible people, and tell them ABC.
So which lawyer should I contact? The lawyer here or the lawyer?
No, the lawyer here.
here.
He can serve them, yes, because you're now in Sweden. You're not in Africa. Yeah.
Your lawyer here to serve the company in
Africa.
In Africa.
But the company is mine, me and him.
The registrar of companies.
Yes, it is under our names.
Yeah, so I'm saying your lawyer here to serve the registrar of companies in
Kenya.
Yes.
To get the company issue sorted, so he can state, because it's a registrar of companies that registers your company and gives your company name. So for you to close the company and also this distribution of shares and everything, you still have to
Yes.
go to the registrar of companies.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that would help like that. So your lawyer to serve the registrar of companies, not the owner of the company, because you're the owner of company.
Yes.
Okay. And what
Yeah.
about the bank? Also same?
The bank, I think also the same. Your lawyer can write to the bank if it's, for
Yes, and
example,
explain the whole
Barclays and
situation.
everything, because the banks also have their legal department.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he can serve them as well and tell them like this bank account
Mm.
has to be, yeah, I think that would,
They can
Terminated.
even first
yeah.
freeze it or whatever you want to request for.
Mm.
And then maybe what can happen, the bank can write the total amount you guys owe because there's the monthly payment, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the bank can write what you guys owe, and then it can be decided upon during your divorce who pays what and who pays what.
Yeah,
Like that.
exactly.
Yeah. So it goes like you owe this and I owe this. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think I'd also want to say, like, if you are getting or knowing or just have moved to a new country, I think if you're a man who wants to inform you of the rules and the laws and the ways, is a man who wants you to understand and not use his country against you. But
Mm.
a man who will just want you to be at home and be the wife and be given everything and be handed over everything is someone who you should not. I mean, it's romantic to be taken care of. It's really nice. It
I
feels so good.
know.
This one has never
So
ever
good.
taken care of me, Nelly. Never. And
No,
even
but
even
just to have someone who
and
will tell
even
you, "Oh, honey,
I'll do that.
you want
we
to go
don't
to this place?
we
Oh, don't worry, I'll go for you." It feels
I
so
I
good.
have never had that name honey. Okay.
Don't make me cry.
It's
You
true. I've
deserve
never had
love.
that name honey. And also even for me to go to school, he really fought very hard so that I don't go. But
Wow.
then I told him, if you refuse me to go and study this language, I'm going to contact immigration because I didn't come here as a
Yes.
So right
prisoner.
to
I
learn the
came
language.
here because for me to get a job, I need to know the language. And
Yeah.
if I don't
Yes.
know the language, how am I even going to work? Or you just
No,
want
he's
to
very
have me under your
abusive.
arm? Yeah.
Yeah, that is
But
He's
a way of
abusive and
isolating you.
manipulative as well.
yeah, but
Yeah.
now he's not lucky because when he speaks, I speak. We are
I
now going head on.
The only thing you should try not to do is to threaten,
No, no, no.
yes.
but be outspoken, speak for
Hmm?
your rights, but
Yeah.
don't threaten him.
No, no, no. He's
Yes.
the one threatening me in that case.
That now that works to your favor. Just make sure you have all your data, just store your data together, because you're going to need your data for your divorce case when it
And
when it's
and
going
Exactly.
and
at
now
court.
he even gets really frustrated or feeling agitated when even when somebody calls him on phone, he cannot talk close to me. He goes away because then he knows
Wow.
I understand whatever is happening. So I always
I just love to see the face of a loser sometimes.
yeah, you can
That
see the way
of
he reacts. He reacts like he's very uncomfortable. So I tell him, can you just talk? What's your problem? Then he say, no, excuse me, I have to go. So he goes out and go and speak somewhere that I
And you
don't
know the
understand.
problem with such people, Nelly?
Mhm.
They honestly believe they are in the right. Like when we
Yeah.
get to see those cases and talk with couples, you see
Mhm.
that the partner is convinced he's in the right and the other one is crazy. It's unbelievable. That's why I say such people are mentally sick and never stay in such a relationship hoping that they can change. They can't.
no, they
Because
never.
from them, they are convinced they've done their best, they've been nice to you,
Yeah.
you're unthankful, you're crazy. I got you from Africa, you
Yeah,
eat, you have
exactly.
a
He say that
house.
I'm
They believe you're
ungrateful.
completely nutters.
Yeah.
You
He
know,
says that I'm
I truly
ungrateful that he brought me here. And instead of me worshiping him, all I do is complain, complain, complain. And
Yeah,
complaining,
worshipping.
there's a
yeah.
God in heaven.
So yeah, if I tell him, are you God? He says yes, he is God. So I told him, maybe to your family, not me.
No, there's a God in heaven, or
Yeah, he
whatever
thinks
place he believes, but that could be his God. I mean,
See,
every human being has a right to even see themselves as God, but I mean, it depends on
but
how
he's not my
crazy
God.
craziness is, but it's not your God.
Yeah.
At the same time, just because he paid for your flight ticket, did not mean you did not. he was having sex with you, was he not?
You see those things you're saying, Nelly. I told the coach I want him to be paying me for the sex he has had with me for the last 4 years.
Yes, if I wasn't his wife, yes.
Yeah, I told the coach because for me, I feel used. He used me.
Exactly, because this is someone who have made you think like they loved you, they cared for
Yeah.
Yeah.
you, they did everything, but all they wanted was to bring you close to them so that they can treat you like a rubbish, like a piece of
Mm.
shit that they
I
just,
know.
I think
you know.
even the judge who was reading this my letter was just like, what the hell is this?
Of course, they're also human.
Drag the shit that he's been putting you through, drag him to
And then you
heaven.
see
Let him feel how it was like.
after he canceled this divorce, then he came with his stepfather. He has a stepfather. This stepfather bluntly told me, Audrey, the reason why you people cannot live together is because you all have strong personality. Both of you are strong,
No, one
and no,
is one, that's a
and
mistake.
nobody wants to lie low. I said, yeah,
No,
because for me, I'm standing up for what is right, but your son is
I
not.
know. Why should you lie low?
no, it's not
Mm.
same personality. One
Hmm?
is a dumb ass and another one is an intelligent person. Those
Yeah,
two
but
don't
Yeah.
you must
go together.
remember that one is his father, so he can say all the good things concerning him.
Me,
Yes.
okay, I'm a parent and I believe in letting your children grow up to be people they want to be. But
Mm.
I would call out my son if he's a total shit,
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
because
Take
that's not
responsibility
how I
of the
raised you to
actions.
be.
Mm. No, for me, I thought maybe his parents are also racist somehow because
They
why?
could
Because
be,
you
if they
see,
don't see any fault with their son, they
they
could
don't
be
see.
also racist.
Yeah, because now, if you and your husband right now, God forbid, you have misunderstandings in your house, your mother-in-law and your father-in-law, they are the people who should be contacted first to come and bring peace between you two, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
But for your husband to go and start yapping to his parents about you are doing this, and even those parents, they don't call back or say, Audrey, we want to come and meet you, or you come to our house with this
I
person so
know.
that we can talk about this. No, they just rub it off and that's it. Whatever he says, that's final.
But you
You
know the
know, one
problem?
thing I know,
Maybe the parents-in-law never liked you in the first place. That unfortunately
Exactly.
it is
That's
some
what I'm
old
saying.
people are
Maybe
very
they're
closed
racist.
off, and then
Yeah.
you just go to them and tell them, "Oh, I fell in love with her. I didn't know, but she just wanted to use me. She wanted to come
Yes.
to Europe." And if
Yes.
you're a parent, very old, you've never been anywhere in the world, you
Mm-hmm.
believe that. Of course, the old people, you can't blame them. They are old people who they don't even understand where Kenya is. They don't even know how he got you here. So he'll go
Mm-hmm.
and tell whatever stories and they'll believe him.
Yeah. Yeah.
but also I would like to
Exactly what
put this.
happened. He went and told them negative things about me, and those
Yeah.
parents, they decided to stick by him, which is okay. I understand. This is their son, and me, I don't have any, so fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's really unfortunate, but also I'd like to say that I feel like many countries in Europe, for example, the mothers usually, I think also it depends on raising up again. In African societies or where we come from, um, a relationship, if you're married, you join a family. You understand? And I
Mm.
feel
Yeah.
like here in Europe, if you're married, it's you and your husband. Now, the relationship between you and your mother-in-law is you to decide, or you both to decide how involved they're involved in your life.
Yes.
And I feel like some parents don't feel the need to in come in to solve disputes and stuff like that. They'll just be like, oh, we'll take care of the kids, we'll watch after the kids. They'll want you guys to solve the issue between the two of you, because for
Yes.
them, like our marriage, their marriage is their marriage between them, and then your marriage is your marriage. Those are two different things.
It's
Mm-hmm.
actually the culture here.
It's the culture, and when it's party time, it's party time, all of you guys come together. And
Mm.
so, but for me, the thing that I don't like in your in-laws, for example, is the fact that they know what is happening. You have called and
Yeah.
even explained to them, but then they still treat their son.
A special.
You know, a good mother would tell you that the girl, if this is not working, then you should go for a divorce, because divorce is a common thing here. They should have advised you to do that
Yeah.
earlier, or
Yeah.
even their son to leave you if it was not working.
Yeah.
Ah,
But
I don't
no,
know.
they just, do you know, in fact, I was really pissed that I even blocked those parents. I don't have them. I don't
Oh
want.
no.
Yeah. I
But I
blocked them.
think at the same time, it gives you
I
the
don't
peace of
need more
mind.
negativity in my life. Their son is already too much for me. So I don't want their shit back at me again. So
Were
I
they
blocked
also
them.
like communicating back and forth or no? Or just
No, they just keep quiet. They ignore everything.
Do
so
they
if they
take?
are
Do they
keeping
stay with the
quiet, I would
children like once in
advise
a
you
while?
Huh?
to unblock them, and maybe, much as sometimes it's not good, bring back the African culture where you just respect the parents, keep them there, don't talk to them, but you have a child in this family, and no matter what
Like
happens, that
for
is the good thing with this system. The grandparents, when push comes to push, they will always be there for you, they will always be there for that child, and you really don't want this child to lose its family.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
fight with them or
I
anything,
blocked them
but just
because
give them the respect and leave them at a distance, because the fight is between you and your husband anyway, but your child deserves its family also.
no, let me tell you, the reason why I blocked this mother-in-law is
Yeah.
because when the stepfather came with his son here, I told you what he
Mhm.
said, right? And then I was trying to ask this father-in-law. I've been trying to reach, his wife. I've been trying to reach so and so's mother, and every time I call, my call goes to voicemail. Why is that?
Oh
uh,
God.
yeah. And this father was really surprised, and he's like, really, are you sure? I said yes, even I can call now when we're sitting here. I tried again, and then again he later say to me, by the way, I've remembered, so and so said that she never ever want to see you again. So what?
Wow.
what
wow.
what is there left for me, for me to keep her in my contact?
Wow.
Yeah, she said it.
I think that one there's nothing left. But do they
Exactly.
do they call do they speak to their child, for example?
Yes, a lot. They speak 24/7 with
No,
this.
like their grandchild. Do
No,
they
now this my son is still 2 years old. How can they speak?
No,
they
but normally they
birthdays?
call and say hello or geburtstag if he has a
They
birthday.
I've never seen. Maybe
That's
when the
sad.
father has the child, I don't know. I don't know what they do.
That's very sad.
Oh,
Mm. But this man always take these two kids to their grandmother. Can you imagine? Even on a Christmas day, I was left here alone, and he
oh
took,
no.
yes, he took his son and they went. And even when it was, I don't know, midsummer, I don't know what that is here in Europe. Also,
Johannes.
yeah, also I was left
Oh,
alone.
sorry.
Oh no.
Sometimes he drives me and leaves me at the mall in Stockholm, and then he tells me, you stay here, I go, we are having a family get together. So they go. So
No.
what the hell do I still have with these people? What is there anything
Oh,
left there
that's
to
bad.
salvage?
No, there's
Nothing.
nothing left there for you, sweetheart. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I decided to block them. And even this husband of mine, I'm just having him because I was told if I block him, I don't know, that is against the law. The
You
other way is,
can't, yeah.
if I was in Kenya, I would block his dirty ass.
I think
Mm.
just work on your healing.
Mm.
Take
Yeah.
your time and heal.
Nelly, I cannot heal when I'm seeing this man.
I
Do
know.
you
It's
have
coming to an
a
end.
support network in Sweden? Do you have maybe some good friends? And I'm not talking about our typical women friends who will
Good
just listen
friend.
to your stories to laugh at you. Someone that you can really confide in, talk to, like you're now talking to us without being judged. Cry, throw a tantrum if you have to. You need such a person. Do you have such a support network?
No, my husband never let me
Oh,
go anywhere. Never. Even like now
oh,
I'm living
shit.
alone and he's living alone, and if I say like this weekend, because I'm always having the kids 24/7 Monday to Friday, so on a weekend at least I also want time for myself. So I tell him, please
Yeah,
come and take the kids. You have them in your house. I need to go and visit a friend. I'm just coming up with this story so that I can see if he will agree or not,
His
because I don't
reaction.
have. Yeah, but he still says no, you cannot go. And anytime I say that I need to go somewhere, that is the time he also want to go somewhere. So
And
we
he's
cannot leave
supposed
the
to
kids.
actually do that, because if you're not living together anymore, you have a
Mm.
He
right to
should
say
also
every
have
second
his time
weekend I
with the
have plans.
children.
He is refusing, and if he wants to take the kids, let's say it's on a Friday, he texts me and say, oh, tomorrow I'm coming to get the kids by maybe 10 in the morning. And then I say, okay, fine. This time he will not come, because on Friday he's always drinking alcohol like the whole night. So in the morning he can't wake up because he's drunk. He needs the hangover to come
Oh,
down. He will come here maybe at 3. And this 3, he will take the kids only for 30 minutes, and then he brings them back. He will say, oh, I need to go to supermarket and I cannot go with the kids. Can you have them for a minute?
wow.
Once the kids are here, he will never have them again. So for me, I can never even have even one day for myself. It's not possible.
Yolanda,
Yeah, it's not
Yolanda,
possible.
Oh,
And I
that's
also
sad.
I cannot even study, because when you have small kids, you have to concentrate on kids more, because they make noise, they fight, they do what. This man doesn't want me to prosper, in short.
Yolanda,
Mm,
I would say on your case that you're putting to against him, add the fact that he also does not respect
He's
your
a
time.
drunkard. I was going to say that he's very
And also
unsafe.
add the fact that he's
mm.
also a drunkard.
Yeah,
That
he
he
drinks
waits the
alcohol.
whole night when he knows very well he's coming to pick up the children,
Yeah,
and then shows up to pick up the children late. Add the fact that he can only spend at maximum 30 minutes and then
yeah.
brings the children
Yes.
back to you.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Because it's
Even
not
even
supposed
last
to be
week,
like
I found, even last week, there is a girl we are in with the school. So they had a birthday and she was inviting me. So I told him, please come and take these kids, because I need to go and socialize. I also need to socialize. I didn't come here to just stay in the house. Then he said, ah, no, today I also want to go and change my tires for winter. You see, anytime I come up
Holy
with that,
po-
yeah, anytime I come with something that I need to go, he also wants to go. And for him, going is not a problem. He has a car. Me, I
I
don't have a car.
know.
you have to take a bus and take a tram and whatever.
Yeah.
I think what I'd
But
advise
for your
is
mental health, I would
Mm,
say, of course, it's complicated. I mean, I also live in Europe and I have no family here. I know how complicated it is.
mm,
I would suggest, if you have friends, someone, maybe even if it's in your, I was going to speak German, sorry,
data.
in your language course, someone maybe who has a car or stays near to you, maybe you could turn tables around and tell your situation and say, can I invite you to my place? Because you really, really need someone, because it's going to get even worse. By the time you get through the divorce, it's first going to become very tough, and you'll need someone to talk to every once in a while.
mm.
So
Yeah.
maybe you
No,
invite
you
someone, you
see,
say, I don't have a car, I can't leave because of the kids, blah, blah, blah. But you're very welcome to come and visit me,
yeah, I
because
have a
life
friend
here
who
in
is
Europe can
supposed
be
to,
terrible.
because you remember I said I wanted to go last week, right? And
Yeah.
there is this friend. She's also from Kenya, but they live like 4 hours drive to my place.
Oh,
So
that's far.
yeah, so I wanted to go to them, but then I spoke with her. I told her, because this man is proposing to have a meeting with me, and my sister he also wants to come for this meeting. Can you please come with your husband, because her husband is also Swedish, and that is somebody
Yes.
who is grown up. I want you people to come here, so that you can listen to what he has to say, and then you listen to what I have to say. And if I am wrong,
Yes.
you tell me. You should not hide anything. If I'm not, if I'm the one who is on the wrong, I need to know. And if it is him, he also needs to know. But the fact remains, I still will divorce him.
Yes, I
But
was
my
going to
husband,
cut you short. There's nothing like who is wrong here. Someone who beats you is in the wrong. No matter
yeah.
the reason why he beats you, no one has a right to beat you. If a partner has beaten you once, he'll beat you again, he'll beat the kids. You're definitely not in the wrong. I don't care about your fighting. Maybe you could also, I mean, when you're in a divorce process, you all lose it. But at
Mm,
the moment, he's in the wrong, period.
mm. And
Because he beat
and
you, no one
do you
has a
know,
right to beat a fellow adult or even a
he has
child anyway.
refused. He refused. He told me that he don't want to see anyone. He has refused to meet them.
I
Yeah, so
think
you tell him we shall meet in court, but don't have
Mm,
private meetings with him, because he can lead you to do something very
no,
bad and everything changes for you.
yeah.
don't try. But I think what I would say for now is, as it stands right now, it seems like you're really pressed for, like, you don't have time to even have a social life.
No.
Um, what I would say is try and have go, for example, like the playground where you take the kids to play.
Mm,
You can meet
Yes.
different mothers and make friends with them, And
Not
then that
possible.
way,
Here in Sweden, people are speaking this language, and I don't know. Maybe it's like that even in where you are. They are very cold. They don't talk. They just.
okay, what
No,
about
but like what Nelly is saying, as a mother, if you
Mm,
go to
does
the
work
playground, believe me,
mm,
I came to
when
German without
children start
knowing a
playing with
word.
each other?
mm,
Yes, you
When
connect
children
on
start
the
playing
level
with
of
each
being
other,
mothers.
mm-hmm,
as mothers, you will definitely connect and try and make it that
Yes,
when those children, like when you see kids in the playground, that's when you also go, and the kids naturally always bond together.
mm,
And
yes,
then that way, over time, even if it doesn't happen immediately, over time you create friends. So you have a friend who's a mother who you end up doing the same things that
yes.
mothers do
mm.
around your children. So
Yeah,
even
but
if it's
Nelly,
a party,
where I live, mostly they are Syrians, Iraqis. You know, those people don't speak Swedish. They speak Arabic.
Ah, they are not
So
indigenous Swedish
yeah,
people.
so it's not easy for me. I can't.
but
They can't speak English. They can't speak Swedish.
can I tell
So
you something?
yeah,
My first friend here in Finland was an Iraq, it was a
Iraqi.
Moroccan,
Mm,
and a Moroccan who did not speak English and did not speak Finnish. You know how our first year of friendship was? We
mm.
used Google Translate,
Google
and
Translate.
Oh,
it's because my son. Oh, I actually had a hard time having friends here because Finns are actually worse than Swedish people, I would say, when it comes to friendship.
Mm,
And my son is the first person who helped me get like friends aside from family members, and he would go and play with this kid from his school, and then the friendship grew. So every time we were out, he'd always say hello to the mother and stuff. So then every time the mother, came to realize, lived close to where we lived, and every
mm,
time the kids were outside, he'd always be there watching them. So then when I noticed he wasn't speaking Finnish, then I'd write down on the Google Translate, and
mm,
then give him, and then he would translate, and then we'll talk like that and laugh, and tell our own stories and laugh over it. It was weird, but it did work. Like, that was
mm,
yes,
my first friend, and now we speak Finnish, both of us, because we've learned. But that is how our friendship started. Our
mm,
children, and then ended up to this: translate, I translate, translate, I translate. So she write in her language and then translate to English, and then I'll do the same thing. And we basically grew our bond like that. And when we started doing the language training, then we had now a common language. And even up to now, there are things she does still that cannot understand, and the things I cannot understand, we do the same thing. I
mm.
feel like kids have a way of bringing people together that even the language
yes,
barrier would not be such a big issue. For me,
Mm.
it worked. Like, that was my first friend, and still a friend I have up to now.
For me, it's very hard because I myself can't speak that good Swedish.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering how am I supposed to translate to this person because they can't speak English, they can't speak
No,
Swedish,
on
they
Google
speak.
Translate,
Mm,
there's different languages. So, like mine, for example, I was speaking English then, right? And she
mm,
was speaking Moroccan. So
mm,
I put her language, her mother tongue, and then I put my mother tongue.
mm,
So when I write what I'm writing, it's tedious, but when I write what I'm writing, it translates to her language, not my language, and not Finnish. It
mm,
translates to her language. And then
mm,
she listens, and then she writes in her language, which,
mm,
when it comes to me, I press the English version, and then I hear
mhm,
it in English.
mm,
It's tedious, but it
and
does work. Another thing I would advise is, for example, if your classmates, they're also parents, right? Like,
yeah,
you have classmates who have children.
yeah,
You can also go for such kind of parties
mm.
where your classmate who's hosting the party has children. So when you go with your children, it does not look weird. Me, my
And
kids
how
are.
am I supposed to go, Nelly? I'm telling you, I'm not allowed to move. How can I go to party?
How does
so
it not
can
allow
I
you to
chip in?
move?
Hmm?
That's what Nelly is saying. And once you become a single mother, you're going to need that.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah,
said, you start small. I'm using, for
mm,
example, my example.
yeah,
Lucky enough, when I divorced, I had a car. I was very independent. But still, like I said, I don't have a family here. When I divorced, I made sure that I move away a distance from my husband because he was still in love. He was still in love with me. And I knew the only way I would give him a chance to heal is by moving away from him. So that means I left the area I was used to and had to make, let's say, friends in another area. So like I said, parents always connect, and you'll be
mm,
surprised to come to the playground and notice that someone speaks at least broken English. and I
Yeah.
can communicate with you. And as a single mother, you're going to need that, because you'll have
Mm.
days where
Yeah.
maybe one of your children is sick and you have to
Mm.
rush to the doctor, and you need someone who will look after your child for even at least 1 hour.
Yeah.
You understand? You need that.
Yeah.
I was driving, yes. But for
Mm.
example, it was very helpful with other parents to say, oh, can I drop the kids in the morning and you help me pick them at lunchtime? So, like,
Mm.
we could help each other. I would say, okay, since I drive, I'll pick your child, drop it with mine, and then you can pick them later because maybe I have an appointment at the dentist.
Mm.
Even if they don't
You'll
drive,
need
even
that
if they
support
rely
network.
on
Otherwise,
public,
it's going to be very, very hard.
Mm.
and if they rely on public transport, it still can work. Can I give you an example? I
Yeah.
told you my first year here, I was living by myself. And there was a time I did not have friends as well, the first few months of me staying here. And there was a time my kids had diarrhea. And there's this diarrhea season that comes around
In winter,
um, winter.
yes, the
That
flu bag, they call it the flu bag. Yeah.
that flu bug. We had a flu bug, okay? And the flu bug started in a way that Adrian had it, and then Adrian had it, and then I caught it, and then Matthew caught it, and
Oh
then
my
Daniel
God.
caught it. And so I had like two children on diapers, okay? And then I ran out of diapers. And then imagine the awkwardness of me trying to figure out how do I get to the shop
Because
when
you're also directing. Oh my God.
and it was winter. Girl, you need someone. You don't have to
Yes.
go through what I went through. I had to put my child on a liner and dress him up and carry extra clothes so that when I get to the shop, I'm able to change the whole
Oh
entire
my
clothes.
God.
It was messy. And that's what I'm saying. If you have a friend, you can easily call and say, and you know, at that time, I also did not know about online shopping because I
Mm.
could not find
Yes.
anything. Like I did not know how even to shop online. So like
Yes.
where you can just order a diaper and then get it delivered to your door. So I was like the only option I had was to go to the shop, and then I
Oh
don't
my
drive.
God.
So I was going to use the public transport, and then I was going into the bus
No.
with the pram, and I have to take a bus to get to the shop,
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
winter. You need a friend. You need
Mm.
somebody. You don't have to stretch yourself to that limit.
Mm.
Yes.
That was that was
And
I
it
think the
doesn't, they don't
hardest
have
thing
to
I've
become
ever had
close
to do.
friends. I have many friends in quotation marks. Where our only bond is our children. You know, you don't know how the power
Acquaintances.
of that. They have play dates. For example, now it's okay because my children are older, but in the past it was very relieving to know that your son is somewhere from 2 to 4. I could go to the hairdresser. I could go to do my pedicure. But when you're a single mother, you can't stay alone without a support network. You'll go crazy. Because I had a car, I had the money, I had everything, but I had no family. My mother-in-law was
Yeah.
300 kilometers away, and we had a very good relationship. But at that point, I had nowhere to put my kids. And here, even when you have the money, you don't get a babysitter that easily. I had a
And
babysitter.
even
I
if
would
you
call
do, it's
her.
very
The day I
costly.
would call her is the day she was going to visit her boyfriend. So you have to find a way out. But if you have some parents that you in touch with them, you call them, oh, can my child play with your son for 2 hours? I'm going to the hairdresser, and they are fine. And next time you
Yeah.
do them the same favor. Their son comes and plays with your son, and you must.
I think you must try something like that because what you're doing to yourself without noticing is you have stress happening
Yeah.
already. You cannot say you don't have stress. You have
I do.
stress. And if you say you don't, I'll force and say you have stress.
Yes.
And then you don't give your time to rest. That
Yes.
with that I mean you're 24/7 on motherhood. Going to school, even if it's on Zoom with children in the house, is not easy.
Yeah.
It's
No,
very
at least I'm going 6 hours a day.
yeah. The fact that you have to stay with these kids the whole day and wake up to the same mission every single
I
day by
know.
yourself is not easy.
While their father is drinking alcohol and
Enjoying
enjoying
life and
life.
I
probably
know.
having and even probably having one night stands hearing other
Of
children.
Yes, you
course.
can never know. But
Oh
it's okay. That is his right. He can enjoy him Julubeng.
And Nelly
God.
is right. It's dangerous because you might believe you're strong, you're strong. That's the problem with the African culture. But you
And then
might
when
lose
you
it
break
one day and
down,
snap, You snap
Mm.
and shout at your kids or slap them, and then you're in shit because you're just human.
Yeah.
because
You
it's
know,
all
for
becoming
me,
too
I
much.
tried. I lived my first year here in Finland, and I'm sorry to turn this to me, but let me just say this: my first year here in Finland was really hard, and it's because I had relatives, but they try. I did not want to show the weakness, like, oh, I need you. You understand?
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
an, I'm. I think also it's because I've been in a place where I've been taken for granted or not appreciated. So I always don't. It's hard for me to ask for help. Let me just say
Oh
so. Let me say that loud. I cannot ask for help. I
wow.
believe I can do everything by myself. And that way, if I fail, if I pass, I
You
count
can't blame anyone.
I cannot blame anyone. And I feel like it's mostly because of the past experiences I've had, whether with regards to friendship or just life as a whole.
Yeah.
And because of that, even when my relatives ask me, do you need anything? I'll be like, no, I'm fine. No,
Oh,
I'm fine. No, I'm fine. Rose and Audrey, I snapped one day,
me,
and
I
I
know
did
you
not
can
snap on
snap.
my kids. I was in the middle of Helsinki, the capital city here, and I
In
was about to
town.
cross the road, and I just was like, I called my husband and I said, I can't do this
Wow.
anymore. And she was like, what do you want? And I was like, I wanted to go buy food. And I was like, I just want to go and spend money on anything. And I noticed that for me, my dealing with stress was always spending.
Shopping.
And she was like, but you have money in the account, go buy. And then I went to the makeup store, and I was like, I don't know what I want. And I
Wow.
felt like really, like, then when I went into the makeup store where I felt like so happy, I felt like I was now the saddest. And then I was like, no, I need to go buy hair stuff. And then I went to the hair place, and it was winter. And then I told my
Oh.
husband, I cannot.
You got a breakdown, yeah.
And that is when I knew you need to allow people in your life to help, and you need to be okay to ask for help as well.
Yeah.
Because when you snap, you might snap, and especially like for you now, for example, you have your children at stake, you have a
You
divorce
have to
case
be
coming up for
careful.
you. You do not want to snap when you don't have a support system.
Yeah.
Mm, that's true.
So I think you need to create friends around your family. No, not around your family, but around maybe mothers around where you
Especially
live.
mothers, do what Nelly has always bond as parents, even when you don't speak the language. But knowing that you're both mothers is a special thing.
Yeah. And for me, like for example, our first date together, me and her, we baked bread, and we were not
Without
speaking our
talking.
language.
I
Let your
know.
fun.
We baked bread. And I was like, if this is what saves me from mental breakdown, why
Yeah,
not?
I'll do it. I can see our Kenyan girl baking bread.
You know?
I know.
We went to her house, and she was with her husband, and they were so welcoming, and all you could do is
Moroccan
smile
people
at
are
each
very
other and then
kind.
eat and then drink coffee and then say
Mm,
you need it. You need those awkward moments. They will make
Yes.
you laugh. They'll create for you memories, but most of all, they create distractions that you need, good
Yeah.
distraction, and also
mm,
give you time to just feel. When your children are playing with other people, you feel like I'm looking after them, but it's not like the whole work is on me.
And the children need this contact because much as you don't notice it, unfortunately, people always ask me why you divorced, and I'm like, yeah, because we have a very good relationship with my ex, but I tell people you can never pretend before children. Now your husband is not with you, but your children feel your stress on a daily basis. So
Hmm.
they need the connection to other children. When they go out to play with other children, that is a safe space for them. That is a safe space not to worry. They must not tell you, even with 2 years, kids worry about their parents. They see it when you're not happy. So once they have contact to other people, it gives them a feeling like everything is normal, we'll be fine. But imagine
Yeah.
they see you every day. Maybe sometimes you cry. Maybe you make phone calls and you're screaming and you're angry. And I'm sure you do that. They see
mm,
all that and they are
mm.
stressed at the same time. So
Even
they
when
also
you're
need that
talking to their
contact
dad,
out.
maybe on phone, they sense that energy, and
Yeah.
they take it in, and they don't know how to express it to you. So I feel like you should try for their sake. But I think now we are way into this. I
We've
think
talked
I want to
way too long.
bring it to an end now. I wanted to ask, do you guys think single mothers are a burden?
No,
You
we
want
are
me to
not.
answer
We are
first or
not a
Audrey
burden.
starts, the future single mother?
Sorry?
we
Do you want me to start or Audrey? Who wants to start?
I
Audrey,
will
do you want to
start.
start? You're the most newest single mother in the making.
Yes.
I'm the new fish in the lake.
I'm so glad you can even laugh. It makes me
Yeah,
happy
because
that at least you can laugh.
I've already passed through a lot. That right now I'm just smelling freedom.
I
I
know.
think it's really nice.
So for me, I think this son of pharaohs should man up and take responsibility of their own results. They should not
Yeah.
be blaming us for having, like now, I will be a single parent for the fourth time, right? Why?
Yes.
Because of
Oh.
son
There
of
are
Pharaoh.
irresponsible men around in your
Okay.
life one
And
Yeah.
you
time.
didn't choose.
I didn't choose to be single,
Yeah.
but now because the son of Pharaoh has already made up his mind. So what more
Yeah.
can I do? You cannot force somebody
Nothing.
to live with someone. And also what matters to me right now is my inner peace of mind, and I also
Yes.
need to socialize. This is something I'm really looking forward to, because I don't know, I'm living like I'm in a prison. Even in prison here in Europe, I think people have television, they watch, they go play
Yeah.
basketball, things like that. That's socializing. Me, I don't do anything like that. So my part in short is, these sons of pharaohs, and I will say it very loud and vivid, you should take responsibility of your own actions and stop blaming us for your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everyone must know that before a pregnancy happened, there was a man that initiated that.
involved.
Involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mm.
I
And
think that is really
and if they don't want us to be single mothers, then they make sure they marry
They should be
those
real
women.
men.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
In fact, or they go and do vasectomy. In short, so that they don't have babies.
Thank
yeah,
you
I'm still
very
having
much.
that talk in my
Mwah.
house.
If they do vasectomy, they will not have to be
The
bothered
world
about
would be a
single
better
parents.
place.
The
Yeah.
world would be a better place. Or
Yeah.
they can practice pull-outs.
No, no, no,
Pull
no,
out.
no, 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 Nelly,
Make sure
Nelly,
your
no, no,
pull-out
no, no,
game
no,
is
no,
good.
Nelly, no, 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 no,
Audrey
no.
has had
Pull
it.
out, pull out is not 99%. The only way for them is to do vasectomy. Point
I
We've
blank.
been
know.
doing
Period.
pull-outs my entire life,
No,
my
no, no.
entire marriage.
Yeah, but you still have kids. You see, some people they pull out, and by the time they're pulling out, the sperm is already inside.
Okay. Okay,
So for
understood.
me, my last take is single mothers are burden. Before you get to answer that question, you should ask yourself, how did someone become a single mother?
Yeah,
Because, like Nelly said at the beginning, there are very many reasons why people are single. Some of them it was one night stand, some of them it was because of a man who didn't own up to his responsibility. Some of them it was because of toxic marriages, like Audrey's, that they had to divorce, or myself, who took the conscious decision to divorce and rather have my children have an amazing cooperating situation. And for men who think that when you're a single mother, you're actually looking for someone to replace. That's how I always say it, because I mean, I could be married again by now, but I'm someone who took a conscious decision. That's not something I'm looking for. If I decide to get married when I'm ready. So I always tell people, or the people that have come in my life, I'm not looking for a father for my children. If you're lucky enough, you can be an example or a role model. So that's one thing men need to understand. Because most men who date single women, they think you're looking for a father for your children. No one can ever replace the father of my children, no matter the circumstances. Even when it's a deadbeat dad, the father will always be the father. And that's why I always say to women, if it's possible, make sure that the children have a relationship, a bond, a tie somehow to their original family, because no one can ever replace their father. So I'm not looking for a father for my children. And that gives me the balance, or the situation to say, don't mess around with me because I can still leave you. You understand? Because if you go into a relationship with a man thinking you desperate need a father for your children, he'll start messing around. So if I'm getting with you, it's because just the two of us are in love, and not because you can replace the father of my children or my children need a father. And looking on the other side, on the lighter side of life, a single mother can be an addition, a benefit. Like Nelly has
a
said, you already
bonus.
have a family, you have
Mm.
a woman that has the experience of motherhood. So maybe it makes everything for you easier if you decide to create your own biological children and your wife is already aware about parenting.
And some men are not even sexually productive.
And Nelly, remember they are also single fathers. So what of
Yeah.
if we decide to say you are a
No,
single father? I
thank
don't
you,
want
Audrey.
to.
First, stop there. No one ever mentioned single. Oh, thank you very much. So, Nelly,
You
it's
are the
true.
best.
All single women, they are labeled single women. No one ever says single fathers. Even when they are not with their children, they are still single fathers. You know what I'm saying? No
Yeah.
one mentions them. It's like,
Yeah, and
Oh
even
God.
me now, the one that I'm married to is a single father,
that's what
son
I'm
of
saying.
Pharaoh.
But no
So
one
you wonder
mentions
what
him.
is
So
his problem?
it's ignorance. I call it ignorance and backwardness. Period.
You
Mm.
know, Rose, I'd like to disagree with one point you have said.
Yeah,
We agree to disagree about a father. In my
yeah,
school of thought, and I think molded by experience as well,
yeah,
everyone can be a father, everyone can father a child.
Yeah,
yeah,
But you have to decide as an individual, do you have a father? Do your children have a father or a man who
yeah,
fathered them?
mm.
yeah.
A father is a man who takes care of your kids. That is
Yeah.
the real father. It doesn't matter whether he is the biological father or not.
Yeah.
No,
So, for
what I
example,
meant
Rose, in your case,
was,
you have a father to your children.
no, what I meant was, for example, if I got married now, for example,
Mm-hmm.
my because that is something we'd have to first discuss. I don't want to reveal anything about my private life. That is always very
No,
important to me.
no.
But my discussion would be, for example, we are going into this relationship. I'm the mother of the children. You must earn that. You understand? That is
Mm-hmm.
very important to me. Someone doesn't automatically become the father because he has married me. He earns that. So he has to create a relationship with my
He must earn
children.
it.
Yes, and if
But
the
also
relationship is good,
because you have their father is still in your life. You understand? The reason why I
no, but
brought that up
Nelly,
is because
even if the father is not in their life like Audrey, he has to earn it. For example, her yet to be ex-husband didn't earn it. A good father doesn't say stuff like, I'm taking care of children because of other people enjoy it. He has not earned the right to be a
yeah,
father. I'll use
Yeah.
yeah,
an example of you. I don't know much about your story, but from what I see on Instagram, for example, your current husband is basically like the father of your first son. He earned it.
yeah.
So my new
And he
husband or
deserves
my
it.
boyfriend would have to earn it, to earn this trust, to earn the credibility to be a father.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say when I date someone, it is important to say I'm not looking for a father for my children. That is a two different things.
Yeah.
When you meet someone and you fall in love, the relationship should be first about you two,
You
not
too.
about the children. Yes. So when I meet you, don't start telling me, oh, but the children. So you either want to fall in love with me or you don't. Because Nelly, even if you have 10 children, you still have your own identity. You still remain a woman with
And you
desires,
still and,
with
and
a
you
right
still
to
have the
love
right
and
to
fall in
date.
love. And that is what someone should look at and not what you're carrying with you as baggage in quotation marks.
I think that's very true. I think as women, we need to always remind ourselves that when we fall in love, it's the two of us, me and the
Yes,
man, that falls in love, and then later on we bring the children into this
into the
if
picture.
they have earned the place.
Yes, and that's
If
why I say
not,
don't show other men your children at least until you have the comfortable feeling in your
Mm.
stomach. I call it the mom intuition that they can now get into your children's life. Because
yeah,
unfortunately for the children, children of single mothers, and especially if they don't have a relationship to their dad, like my children, they're always hungry for a father figure. So every man you make them meet, they do their best to please. They try to make sure that he stays and he loves them, because unfortunately most children think when parents divorce it's their fault. So every time someone comes into your life, you introduce them after 1 week, you separate after 6 months, you're breaking their heart every single time because they're like, maybe it's our fault that our mom can't keep a man. So your
yeah.
duty is always to make sure you protect them first, make the relationship about you, the two of you. And when you feel now you're good to go,
Mm.
then you can decide how he gets to earn the right to be a dad,
You want
if
milk?
at all.
I think you have said it all. My laptop is going off, and my charger is not here. But I also wanted to add on to the fact that at the end of the day, as a woman, you have more worth other than just being a mom. There's more
Yeah.
to just being more than motherhood. There's a lot you
Can I
bring on the
say that
table.
briefly? I think
Mm-hmm.
I once posted on my Instagram, and I live by this motto with my children also. I always tell people that only way you can be a good mother is by always reminding yourself every once and then that before you became a mother, who were you? And that's what I
Exactly.
was telling Audrey. You're a mother, you're amazing, you're going through all this stress. But you have to always ask yourself, Nelly, every day, who was I before I got the children? What was my dreams? What were my desires? What makes me happy? And that's why you do sport. I'm a single mother. My children are everything, but Rosanna also lives. Rosanna goes to the club. Rosanna travels
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while without her children. Rosanna shops. Rosanna, because before me, before the children, there was me. And
Yeah.
it's only when this me is happy that I can be a good mother. That is very important. So don't define yourself by motherhood, by who you're dating, by how many men you've slept with, but define yourself by your values, by who you are.
I think that is well said. It's like when you give a CV and you say, I've learned, I've studied this, I've worked here, I've worked here. It's the same thing. Motherhood comes on top of
Oh,
the things.
yes,
It's an addition to what you have as a
exactly.
person.
But it doesn't define you.
No. And also, I
Yeah,
would love to also say that for me, I believe in that this narrative of single mothers are a burden is total bullshit. Men need to man up, and other men also need to know that before they speak about mothers in this way, single mothers in this way, they need to understand there's the man who must have raped someone, and rapists are
yes,
never mentioned
I
even in the
know.
society. There's a deadbeat father somewhere
Yeah,
who just sees children left, right, and center and never takes care of his children.
yeah,
There is a dead dad somewhere who maybe had an accident. There's
I
more to this
know.
story. People need to try and think. And if it was your mother, if you're raised by a single mother, don't they deserve the best? Don't they deserve love?
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't they deserve everything that life has to give? You know?
Exactly. So
Thank you
turn the
so
tables
much.
around. Actually, the best question, because every boy under no circumstances loves his mom. I had that conversation. I have someone that I chat with who lives in Canada, and we got to know each other through social media. And he was telling me about his story. Like his mom has been single all his life, and now he's an adult. He's 27. He's dating, and he's like, I now feel terrible to see that my mom never remarried again, because she always tells them, yeah, I decided not to marry because I had to take care of you, blah blah blah. And he says, I pray every day that my mom meets someone now and gets to feel what I feel and fall
Imagine.
in love, you know? So ask yourself as a man, if this was my mother, would I have wanted her to meet someone else and, fall in love? Would she have been worthy of being loving again? Then it's very simply answered.
And I feel like, I feel many men don't get away with like searing children because they don't get to
Yeah,
carry the pregnancy and nurse the baby and take care of the child. The evidence is
yeah.
not so much on them. So they get away
No
with
one calls them
everything.
out.
Exactly. And then women on the other side are the ones that society kind of thinks your value has been depleted. So-called some parents say, oh,
Yeah,
once we have this saying Luo, which means what I'll say what it means in English. It says once the glass has women are like a glass, once it falls down and breaks, it shatters, you cannot put it back together. Basically it means, for
yes,
example, if you have had a child, your value is gone. And I feel like it's high
yes.
time we rewrite this kind of things by knowing that women these days have gone to school. We don't live in the traditional days. Women have gone to school, women are educated, women work, women go to work and bring food to the table. Women make
I
decisions,
know.
women rule the world. And I feel like it's just
Absolutely.
illiterate and immoral and disgusting to hear a man who actually has a mother reason like that
Yes.
on behalf of another mother. when they know they have
I
been mothered
know.
by a mother, even if they were not a single mother.
Exactly.
It's a shame.
So
Anyway,
for me, first of all, I want to thank our guests. But before I thank, another point what you said, maybe another tip I can give for women to always remember to be kind and nice to themselves. I tell that a lot to our people in Africa. In Africa, there's a commonality of when you become a mother, they call you, for example, Mama Peter, Mama Rita, Mama whoever, and you basically lose your identity. It is important every once in a while to have someone who calls you by your name, to remind you of who you are, to remind you that you
mhm,
have an identity. You're not just Mama Samuel, Mama whoever, you are Nelly. So every time someone says, "Oh, Nelly," you remember, "Oh yes, there's a Nelly." What was Nelly interested in when she was young? What was Nelly's dreams? What did Nelly want to be? So, and
exactly.
that helps us to be empowered, or like Audrey, to remind you, yes, I'm married, I'm in Sweden, but what did I want to be before I got these 5 children? What
Who
is it
am
I always
I?
wanted to do? And you can still work on it, and it's never too late.
Exactly. It's never too late. I feel like we need to remember who are we. And that is why for me, like, I think my entire life I live it like Nelly,
Yes.
not Mama. Mama so and so is another title that comes,
Yes.
but I live as Nelly. She goes to the club. She likes to dance. She wears sexy clothes.
Absolutely.
She dresses. She wears booty shorts. She's a woman
Thank you.
who's
Why do you think people will call you out, Nelly, when you dress sexy? They'll be like, "Oh, she's a mother of two." That is
she
something
takes
I don't
photos with
listen to.
lingerie because this is who she is.
That's Nelly, yes.
So if you motherhood is just another name I have.
It's
I'm a
just
mother.
another part of you, but it doesn't define you. I'm so
Exactly.
thankful to you and glad that I got to see this live. Anyway, I always see all your lives, but I'm
I
glad I
know.
decided to join. It's so amazing.
Thank you so much, guys. If you're watching this, and even all of you who's going to come back and watch this later, please follow Rose on YouTube. And also, she has amazing content, and we're also waiting for more content that she's just promised us right now.
Thank you.
On the same topic we've been talking about, please, Ruth, I'm waiting. And then also on Instagram, follow Ruth, and you can also follow our guest who was here as well,
Audrey.
um, Audrey, on her. She has Instagram account, I think, not yet YouTube, and
Yes,
any
I'll
other
try
YouTuber
and
who's
post
here.
content as regards this stuff and give information. But I'm so thankful. And for all the people who have hung out so long with us,
This
I'm
was
so
so nice.
thankful. I know we can't change the world, Nelly, but I got to meet you on Instagram. I like how authentic you are, how you talk about your story. I remember during the Save Aya Drive, you talked about your story and you earned more respect from me,
Thank
because I know,
you.
again, in the African culture, there's a habit of pretending and acting and hiding, and it doesn't bring us forward. We don't grow if we
We
keep on
don't grow.
pretending and telling people, I'll say lies. So I'm glad you say the truth. You give an open narrative. And like I told you, another thing I'm very passionate about, being honest with people. Yes, you can come to the diaspora. Yes, you can make it. Yes, it's possible. But there's also another side to it. Maybe I'm one lucky one. You could also be another lucky one. But what are the things you need to consider, and not just say, "Oh, Nelly said everything is perfect." Just look for a finished guy and life goes. So I really, really appreciate you. And I applaud what you're doing. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for also joining. I always love the conversations you share as well. And I feel like in the world of today, authenticity is something that really misses, and
Yeah,
people sugarcoat, and no one wants to share the truth. Yet we know and
yeah,
we see that all of us are just broken people trying to, walk with our scars and
I
putting a
know.
smile every day and a badge of honor and saying, you know what, it's good. But also, I think it's good to tell and show people that it's not the smile you should see. There's more to the smile. And just because you see
Yes.
someone in a fancy thing or fancy place, there's more to their story, and you should just
Yeah,
not wish your life on you should not wish another person's life which is not yours, and what is yours as
Exactly.
a
And the
woman.
more I
And
think, especially for us African women, the reason I know it's annoying, I say that a lot and it's pushy, but the reason I wish and desire that more African women come out there and be authentic and be honest. We all know that the African culture for so long has nurtured the narrative of just get over with it, just act everything is okay, shaming each other, it's important that women come out there, women like you who have made it in life, let me put it that way, the African
I'm
way.
trying.
And but despite your past, despite everything that you've gone through, that you can still make it, it gives other women, other people, the confidence to know my past, my problems do not define me, and it's
No,
okay to not be okay, and it's possible to be okay when the time is right. So
that's
through
very true.
this
And
honesty, you're
also,
helping many people and you're helping change a narrative that has to change,
oh,
honestly.
thank you so much. And also, just to add on that before we close, we can never all be the same. And just because
No.
you planned your life from school, I'll go to graduate and then I'll get married and then I'll have children, life plans
Yes.
itself. And when life gives you lemon, make your lemonade, suck the remaining
Thank you.
one, move on.
Yeah. Thank you
There's
very
never
much.
happily ever after is what you make out of your life. It's never what you
Yeah,
read on the books. So if you're a
that's true.
woman watching this and you're in a place of brokenness, know. And if the universe can send you any message, just know whatever shitty place you're in right now, you don't have to be there. And even if you
Yeah.
don't have nothing in your hands, you can always work towards something. For me, I'm all about someone. A woman is good who has something that she calls her own.
Thank you.
The
Say that
place you go to
louder. I
work,
can even buy you a microphone and I send it.
you know,
Say
the
that
place you
again.
go to work, something that you
Yes.
call, even if it's 10
Even
shillings,
if
it's
you earn
yours.
little, it gives you massive power.
Please, let's strive to have something that belongs to us. A
Yeah.
man will get to control you when they know that there's your source of income, your source of provision, your knowledge,
Yeah.
and everything you around you is about them. Our
Yeah.
guest, Audrey, I'm so
Me
proud
too.
of the woman you have become, so proud of the milestones you have achieved, so proud of your courage also. And I know the future has more amazing things for you. And girl, these cars, you'll walk one day and say, these are just cars that I see, and the
It's
badges
true.
that
Yeah.
represent the places, the victory that I've won, and the battles that I fought. And may they
Yeah.
never stop you from falling in love
Yeah.
if love comes
That's
your
true.
way. But don't try and replace your sadness and bring another piece of shit
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
in your life because you feel like
In
you
our
need.
culture, they say, there's a saying in my local language, they say, don't jump urine to fall into shit, like real poo poo,
Mhm.
because at least urine is fair. So take your
Than
time,
poo. Yeah.
first find yourself, and then you can date again, but give yourself time to heal and everything. Don't rush anything. And like we
But
said,
love is
you
always
can
there.
only do that.
Even if you have 100 children, love will
Yes.
always be there. There's someone just meant to love you.
Yeah.
Just
Love will
you.
always find her. Yeah.
Love will find you at the right time. Once you've healed, you'll always be in a place to love again. But don't rush your
And an
healing.
empowered woman attracts love, attracts the good people. So learn the language. Try to make sure your children get to kindergarten and school, because it's difficult to work when you have small children. Start slowly, maybe work 1 hour, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. Be it in a supermarket, to give you that feeling, this money, I earned it myself. And even the man who will come in your life will notice you have a very different aura, because you'll be confident, you'll not be a walkover. And it's more fun to date someone who is self-confident and established than someone who is broken. So first work on yourself and
I think
everything will
there's
fall in
nothing more
place.
to add on to that. You have said it all. And Rose, again, thank you so much for being here. For everyone who's been watching, I really do appreciate you guys so much. I'm looking forward to having a conversation like this again. It really
I
be nice.
loved it too. Yeah.
It really be nice. But for now, guys, allow me to go. Tomorrow I
Thank
have
you.
school
Have
and
a good
kids.
night.
I love you guys so much.
Bye.
Never stop looking for yourself. And if you can't find yourself, please. It doesn't
Mwah.
make sense, but it
Bye.
will make sense. Never stop finding you. Never stop running to you. Don't run away from yourself. Try and run to yourself. Don't run away from yourself. And at the end of the day, the puzzle just comes together in a nice and beautiful way, even if it is hard at first. So I love you guys, and until the next time, I'll see you guys again. Leave me a comment on what you think on this. If you want any topic you have in your mind, or anything you want us to talk about, just leave it in the comment section, and I'll definitely come and talk about it. I'm so open to talk about these things, and I'll see you guys soon. I love you guys, and thank you so much for the company. Oh, you guys are so amazing. I love you guys, and bye. Mwah. Bye, guys. And if no one told you you're loved, I love you so much.